Brad Range.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Every legislature to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Now, all that clapping you hear from the gallery, that's coming from people basically who are not the Democrats there from the State of the Union last night. The president is looking at them with great judgment, holding his hand out to direct the attention of the people to the Democrats who are sitting down, who are not willing to stand up and say that their first duty is to protect Americans over those who are here illegally. This was a total setup job. Everybody else is still standing. The Democrats still have the opportunity to weigh in. And Donald Trump waits. And Senator Kelly and Senator Slotkin sit. And they know that they're on the spot right now. And that is the moment of the night last night. That was the moment where President Trump got to prove the point. If you summed up the State of the Union in one phrase, in one point, in one paragraph of the speech that the President of the United States delivered last night, it was that moment right there. These people who have been sent to Capitol Hill to represent you in the House of Representatives, in the Senate, these people are not there to protect the same people. And the Democrats really, I think, visually did themselves grave harm politically. Now, will Republicans be able to capitalize on the political hay that they can make out of last night? And the question we're asking you on the YouTube polls, how'd you feel about President Trump's address? Was it an A+? You think it was sufficient? Could have been better? Or you thought it was a disaster? A lot of you joined me last night. We had a good crowd of about 80 people hanging out together on the live stream to watch the State of the Union last night on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Many of you also were streaming 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app or listening on 97.1 FM Talk as we were able to carry the Fox News coverage as the St. Louis Fox News Radio affiliate to be able to bring you right there into the moment. But we're going to take you even closer here in about 8 minutes from right now because Mark Cox is going to join us, who was in the room last night. Saw some amazing pictures that he was able to take. I'm sure you heard him this morning on the Mark Cox Morning Show talking about that experience. So we'll find out from a first-hand perspective how Mark Cox, what his experience was like last night to be in the room last night at President Trump's State of the Union. My overall takeaway, not to scoop the rest of the show, was I thought that the president did a magnificent job last night of depicting what the State of the Union was and not what the state of politics and politicians is. He was able to make those points along the way, but I don't recall another State of the Union that I've watched that's in my mind that felt so much about America and the Union compared to a lot of gloating and a lot of, how many times did we listen to President Biden say they were going to cure cancer? The great irony of that is that the president most definitely had cancer at the time that he was saying that. And he would go out in front of the people. We talked yesterday about the time where he was all sped up on something. Mm-hmm. Making all of these really lofty promises while standing on ceremony for Inflation Reduction Act that, of course, made inflation go through the roof. The Affordable Care Act that, of course, made healthcare so unaffordable that the Democrats had to subsidize it and extend those subsidies in the early part of President Biden's presidency to make it so that it could be even a little bit affordable than it was originally. This is a repeat measure that we see from presidents, and I've seen Republican presidents go up there too. They kind of do the chest pound thing where they're trying to articulate how great they are and how great their party is. And then you walk away and you're like, okay, well, I'm still going to wear the red shirt or the blue shirt, whatever you came in, you're probably walking away with. But President Trump used the opportunity that he had to address Congress last night to highlight Americans by name, by face, by memory in some cases, to acknowledge Americans who have withstood great challenges that have been pressed upon them because of poor legislative policies that have been put into place before, passed by Democrats and Republicans alike. But to say our policies in the Trump administration are these, but these are the people, this is the why. These are our policies. This is why we're protecting children from crazy gender advocacy from the political left. This is why we are securing the border. This is why we are enforcing deportations. This is why we are working hard to prioritize the family, to remind folks that we are one nation under God. This is why. Person after person after person, celebration of America after celebration of America after celebration of America. It was a positive, uplifting, forward-looking speech that was not drenched in the minutia of the politicians that have to get the job done. I found it pretty interesting that there were very few occasions where the people who were sitting in front of him in Congress, there were very few occasions where they were the story at all. And when they did become part of the speech, when they did become part of the story, it's because they did what President Trump called out right there, which is be unwilling to stand in agreement that the number one responsibility is to protect the American citizen. That's simple. I thought it was a pro-America, pro-positive, hopeful, forward-facing speech that the president needs to continue to back up with the policies he's putting in place and the results he's putting on the scoreboard. Ryan, what do you think overall?
I thought it was fantastic. It's funny because when you get online afterwards and you just kind of see the typical back and forth, you can kind of read the room to see if Republicans are going, oh, well, better luck next time, or Democrats are saying the opposite. I thought last night Democrats were really playing defense on their party last night after that speech because they looked bad a lot of times because Trump and his speechwriters wrote some fantastic moments. You opened the show with one of them that are just, again, they're 80-20 issues that he focused on a lot last night. Unifying stuff, and I thought the speech was great.
Yeah, I agree with that. Here's, before we go, we got to connect here with Mark Cox in just a minute. He's going to call us, I think, from the airport in Washington, D.C. as he makes his way back here. Here's Major Garrett talking about the effort Trump made to make his case and make it very clear.
We have Major here at the table. I want to bring the conversation back here to our group watching along. Major, you've seen a lot of these, I think, more than any of us. What stood out to you?
Well, look, before the speech, many Republicans said one of the priorities for the president was to make sure Americans after this speech had a sense that the opposition party was off the rails, was crazy, their terminology, not mine. Many of the contrasts the president articulated tonight were to drive that message forward. That not only do I disagree with the opposition party sitting before me in Congress, but I disagree with them so strongly and they with me so much that they can't even applaud basic common sense thing. And that line that you mentioned, that he added to the speech, whether it was ad-libbed or not, the first obligation, American citizens versus illegal aliens, was meant to create a visual moment of perpetual contrast.
And it sure as heck did. Major Garrett there for CBS reporting on the night. You want to know what Republicans literally stand for and what the Democrats literally won't? Well, now we know literally. And I think that was the line of the night. But there were many more important parts from the speech that we're going to continue to talk about today. Dave Rubin is going to be with us in 17 minutes. He'll be here at 12:30. He's the creator and host, of course, of the Rubin Report. We'll get his thoughts on the State of the Union. Mark Cox, who was in the room last night, when we come back.
Morgan and Morgan and Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you're looking for the best eye care in St. Louis, look no further than the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. Make your appointment today at youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
When storm damage strikes or it's just time for a new roof, call my friend Cornelius at C. Marion Roofing. This is Ryan Wiggins. I've used him multiple times for roofs and bathrooms. He's licensed and insured for both homes and businesses. Start to finish, he'll handle your insurance claim and get you the job done right, fast, reliable, and with quality you can count on. I can testify to that. Call C. Marion Roofing today, 314-399-2140. That's 314-399-2140. Or type in C. Marion Roofing for all your projects.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar. And maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We were staying in Paris.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Let's get right next to here our next guest, Mark Cox, host of the Mark Cox Morning Show, every day, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on 97.1 FM Talk. Mark, thank you for sharing some of your airport time with us here on the Annie Fry Show. It's good to have you on the air.
You bet, Annie. You could probably hear some of the announcements in the background. I'm sorry, I don't know how to get away from that, but
no, you're good.
I'm at a very busy Southwest Airlines gate here at Ronald Reagan National Airport in D.C. getting ready to take off, so it might be loud. Did
you get through TSA okay? Did it take a long time since the shutdown is supposed to be affecting that kind of travel?
I have pre-check, and there were probably 5 people in front of me. I mean, they're still running pre-check right now. It wasn't a problem at all here in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. I don't know what it's like early in the morning when it's busier, probably. But I didn't see any lines at all.
That's good. So, Mark, tell us what it was like to be at the State of the Union last night. I have some pictures that you posted on your Mark Cox Morning Show Facebook page. I encourage anybody listening, if you want to see Mark's experience, go like his Facebook page, the Mark Cox Morning Show. But talk to us a little bit about the experience of being there. Such a cool opportunity you got.
Well, it was surreal because for how many years have I watched that as a news reporter and then as a radio host? I've watched so many states of the union that, you feel like you've been there even if you've never been there. But to actually be ushered in and be one of about, 650 people out of 340 million to have access to the inside of that chamber during the State of the Union was pretty special. It was a pretty special feeling. It was just, I'd never been in the House chamber before. I've been to Congress a couple of times. I've been to the offices for the congressional members and the senators, but I had never actually been in that chamber. So it was pretty cool. And, to see all the Supreme Court, well, there were only 4 of them, come in, and then the senators be introduced and the members of the cabinet be walked in, that was pretty special right there. And that was before they introduced the president. So,
Mark, hey, it's Ryan. What was the feeling in the room? Because I read that because so many Democrats were going to stay home, that it felt a little more like a rah-rah, like a fun night.
It's weird. It's weird you say that. If you looked at the seating in there, like if you were looking at the president where he was facing the camera, I was to his right up in the gallery. So I was on what is generally considered the Democratic half of the seating arrangement on the floor. I was looking down at Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib.
We all are, Mark. We all are. I was too, but I was in my office.
I was overlooking them when they were down there yelling at the president of the United States. It was kind of strange. But the point is, Ryan, you couldn't tell from up there that there were like a multitude of empty seats. It didn't look like there were. I heard that there were 50 or 60 Democrats that did not attend, but you wouldn't look down there and see 50 or 60 empty seats that I noticed. So I was really surprised when I heard the number was that high. I don't know if those seats were given to somebody else. I would think on the floor they probably weren't. But
I heard there's a rule/law that says that they can't be filled by, like, it's not like the hockey team could have come down and sat there.
Yeah. We were all wondering where the hockey team was going to go because every single seat was occupied. And in the end of the day, they didn't have a seat. They just walked into the press area and stood there for a few minutes, and then they left afterwards. So yeah, it was very much I would say you could tell the people that were invited by the Democrat members because, like the Democrats, they sat on their hands for most of the event, and the rest of the chamber, the large majority of people were standing up, cheering.
Were you standing up,
USA,
like
chanting USA?
So, like, if the Republicans were standing up, Mark, were you up there like pumping your fists in the air? What were you doing?
Absolutely. Yeah, I got as much exercise as Bob Iger and all the rest of them. People would stand up. People were wolf whistling and cheering and chanting USA, and you just kind of follow the crowd in an event like that. If everybody else stood up, I stood up too, and sometimes I stood up when not everybody else stood up. So it just depended on what the president was talking about. But when he looked at him and said, "You people are crazy," I stood up and cheered loudly.
From looking down over Ilhan Omar. Mark Cox of the Mark Cox Morning Show on with us right now. What kind of prep do you get to go in to the gallery? What kind of rules are there? Did they tell you you can do this, you can't do that? What kind of prep did you get?
So I was the guest of Congresswoman Ann Wagner, and basically her prep was, I have to walk you up there and drop you off, and you're going to have to go
like
through
daycare.
Security again. Thank you. That you have to be accompanied by the member that gave you the ticket.
Yeah.
They walk you up to the 3rd floor, and you get in this long security line. They take your phone, and then you have to go through a magnetometer before they'll let you into the event. Now, I'd been up since 4 a.m. Eastern time, so I was pretty tired. So I had a bottle of 5-Hour Energy with me in my pocket, and the lady said, "I can't let you go into the chamber carrying this." And I'm like, "Well, then I'm going to drink it right now."
Slam it.
And the guy behind me said, "I'll give you $50 for that."
Did you give it to him?
No.
Oh.
I drank it because I knew I was going to need the extra energy to get through the rest of the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have to get there a lot sooner? I mean, the speech started at 8 o'clock our time, right? So did you have to get there and be seated way earlier in advance?
Yeah, so I had a couple of opportunities. I got to go to the Capitol Hill Club, which is basically the Republican bar/restaurant that's right next to the RNC. So we went there, we had a cocktail and some appetizers, and then we went to the speaker's reception. So we had to go into the Capitol building, and I'm just following Ann like a lost puppy because
on your way to daycare,
she can go anywhere she wants, right?
Sure.
So I follow her right into the reception. There's RFK Jr. You probably saw that picture. The director of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, was in there. Pete Hegseth was in there. We got to get pictures with all of them. And then the speaker, which was pretty cool, got to talk to him for a minute. And then the hard time, you had to be upstairs by like 7:45, which
Eastern.
is an hour and a half before the speech started, which was 9 Eastern time. So we had to be up there so they could get everybody through security and seated. So I was probably in the gallery close to an hour before the president finally came in.
Good thing you had that 5-hour energy.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, but I was doing good. I had 4 hours left at that point.
Mark, we're scrolling through all the pictures that you posted from last night of especially all the people that you met. You've been in this business for a long time. Was there anybody that you were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got to meet this person?
You'll appreciate the fact that I geeked out when I met Chip Roy, who I think is fantastic in Congress. I spotted him, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's Chip Roy. So I stopped him and asked if I could get a picture with him. Burgess Owen was in there. He's pretty cool. I've had him on before, the congressman, a former NFL player. I'd met Hegseth before, but I had never met John Ratcliffe, which was pretty cool. And Sean Duffy, I think I talked to him once at CPAC years ago, but I'd never met Rachel Campos Duffy, who, of course, my intro to her was, hey, I know Annie Fry. And she's like, oh, I love her. Tell her I said hi.
Well, that was sweet of her to say. Hopefully she actually – I did compliment her, and I should do it again here. She was hosting for, I think it was Jesse Waters last week or so, and she had a side part. And I know the millennials have tried to take away the side part and put in the millennial part. I'm talking about hair, folks. And I complimented her on Twitter, and I think she reacted to that. Well, Mark, we got to go. We got Dave Rubin coming up next, but so cool for you. I was so happy to hear that you were getting this opportunity. Many thanks, obviously, to Ann Wagner for allowing you to be her guest.
Oh, yeah.
And I know people are going to be tuning in to hear more of your stories and your experience in D.C. over the weekend. You did a great job covering it.
I appreciate it, Annie. Ryan, thank you.
Take care. Gus, have a safe
All
flight.
Right,
bye.
Yep.
In the Reagan airport right now. That's a weird airport. It's an interesting airport.
Do you think Rachel Campos Duffy was starstruck to meet Mark because Mark knows you?
Yeah, that's exactly the thoughts that I was having.
I was going to ask him that. But...
My thoughts were she was kind and said, oh, I love her.
Like, who?
Annie Frey? Yeah, she's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be really weird if she called me Annie Frey when she wasn't reading it.
After he had pronounced it correctly.
Yeah. You know Annie Frey? No, I'm just Annie Frey, really.
You know Annie Frey?
No, she's actually incredibly sweet, and I did a Vitae event with her, so we did have dinner together, and she is such a wonderful advocate for life. She is wonderful. And she is the person who, I've been on Big Fox television a few times, always through Rachel Campos Duffy. So she does know who I am. But I think in that moment, she might have just been being nice. Maybe not.
No, I bet she knew.
Dave Rubin, host of The Rubin Report. You can check him out at rubinreport.locals.com. He's going to be with us to react to the effectiveness of the State of the Union last night. What kind of help or harm did the Republicans, did the Democrats do to their parties, to their purpose? Dave Rubin and his expert opinion next.
Together, they'll say you could do anything. They'll say that I was clever. Here we go down, then we go down together. We'll get away with everything. Let's show them we are better.
Stewart's American Mortgage. If you call Stewie or if you text Stewie at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, you're going to get connected to the guy who can help you get a mortgage that does not come with any closing costs. And that's really the magic of the bagel loan. You get a new mortgage on a new home purchase, or you get a refinance on your current mortgage. And you're going to go through that process without having to pay any closing costs in Missouri and Illinois alike. So a reminder, doesn't matter which side of the Mississippi you're on. He has helped me twice with a refinance, got a great low rate. The second time I did it, took a little equity out of my home and built a whole brand new deck on the back of my house. Would not have been able to do it without Stewie and Stewart's American Mortgage. You can trust him. I have. 314-324-4440. Call or text 314-324-4440 and ask Stewie about the bagel loan. And a reminder, that bagel loan comes with $0 in closing costs. He can close in less than 2 weeks as well. If you're in a hurry and if you want a great deal, you want the bagel loan. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Law enforcement is a sickness that has not led to safe communities. Opponents of this law are preying upon fear of change to lie and fearmonger.
JB and BJ are the liars and the fearmongers. They are the sickness that is killing Illinois and Illinoisans. They give sanctuary to foreign predators and sanction to domestic repeat offenders while vilifying the police. A Cook County study found 74% of criminal defendants failed to show up to court after being released under Pritzker's Safety Act. Listen to this suburban police chief.
I don't call it the Safety Act. I call it the Unsafety Act because that's what it is. I'm still waiting for somebody to explain to me where does safety come in. Who are we keeping safe here when you call it the Safety Act?
Not you. I will repeal Pritzker's purge law and end JB and BJ's killing spree before it hits you. I'm Ted Dabrowski, your conservative candidate for governor, and I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on March 17th. Paid for by Ted for Illinois.
License number GL2500615.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Two sounds that can wreck your sleep. A drip and a toilet that won't stop running.
Drip, drip, all night.
Good news. We're doing plumbing now. Same folks, same care, same we do it right.
Leaky faucet, running toilet.
Or a stubborn clog, call Grasser.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Our YouTube live chat poll asking you the question today: how did you feel about President Trump's address last night? A+, sufficient, could have been better, disaster. I can tell you what, the text line is popping right now on this question, or maybe just you guys know that Dave Rubin's coming up. Either way, 314-241-9797 if you want to weigh in on that question, the YouTube live chat poll today. Most people saying A+ right now. 12:30. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Freedom has a frequency. 97.1 FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Said that you enjoyed this speech and that there were moments that moved you. What moved you about this speech?
Well, the celebrating people is always good, but again, that $18 trillion investment, the $25 million in Trump accounts. But I did hear something on the health care, right? We have a law, the Obamacare, the ACA, and we don't have a we don't have a way around it, and it's really just pooled care that's gone up every year. And this most favored nation, he's taken a stab at lowering the cost for us. And unless the legislature acts, he's at least doing something that's going to hit our pocketbook.
Van Jones on CNN sitting in a very relatable bar scene where he talked to swing voters in, I think it was Michigan. They're saying, hey, we kind of liked it. We kind of like what we heard. And a few examples there. Let's ask Dave Rubin how he felt about the State of the Union. Welcome back to the show, creator and host of The Rubin Report. You can go to rubinreport.locals.com. Dave, it's a pleasure to have you on the show with us today. Can't wait to get your reaction to last night's speech.
Annie, it's always good to be with you. Yes, it was a very relatable bar scene because I know every time I'm in a bar, there are all sorts of lighting rigs and makeup people and celebrities, and they are all talking slowly to the... And Van Jones, always at every bar that I go to. It was a killer speech. It was a knockout. Look, obviously, I'm a Trump supporter in that I support America, and he clearly loves this country, but it was just him at his absolute best. You know, he laid out facts, even the fact checkers. I mean, CBS fact checking and all these mainstream media outlets are going, yeah, this thing was pretty truthful. So it wasn't just the facts, it was laying out a vision for the country, but more than anything else, it was the juxtaposition between him, the president, and a party that loves America, that wants sovereign borders, that's trying to get us to succeed, versus a party that has completely lost its mind. And 73 Democrats who didn't even show up, and 2 that did, that basically are Hamas supporters, and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, who were heckling him the entire time. And then there's always that one Democrat who was able to put on a suit this time, John Fetterman. He's on his way to becoming a conservative because he can now wear a suit, who's actually sane and did shake the president's hand. But I thought it was a great speech, and the polling afterwards, even on CNN, they're saying 63% of people felt that Trump's direction is the right direction for the country. So all good, at least for the moment.
I'm with you on all of those assessments, and I really want to get your thoughts. We're speaking with Dave Rubin right now on the Democrats' decision to handle the lack of presence the particular way they did, but also those who did show up. I'm trying to think of really a part of Trump's speech that I felt had a very heavily negative tone. And there's nothing that really pops in my mind. And on the converse, if I'm one of the hundreds of millions of people who's tuning into the State of the Union, we are seeped in this all of the time. Other people check in for the first and maybe only time until, we got to vote next week. I can't think of a positive moment from what the Democrats brought to the table. Like, the best they could do was stand when, like, the 100-year-old veteran or something was getting a medal. And even at that, it was washed over by, of course, the bigger part of the moment. Did the Democrats really hurt themselves last night?
Yeah, Annie, it's such a great point. I brought it up on my show this morning. It's one thing for you and I and our audiences that care about politics and listen to this stuff to analyze every little point. But you have to remember, there are millions and millions of people who don't really care that do tune into this. And maybe they don't watch the full 3-hour thing. But what they probably did get to see, because it was, less than halfway through, was the moment where Trump said, hey, stand up if you think that America should protect American citizens before protecting illegals. And the fact that the Democrats couldn't stand up for that. And then, this is then where Trump is a master, because he poses a question, he gets the applause, he steps away from the mic, you can see him staring them down, the cameras start looking at them, and then the average person out there who doesn't particularly care about politics is like, wait a minute. Okay, how is it possible that they can't stand up when all he's asking is, should America be for Americans? And that has nothing to do with ICE or anything else. It's just a blanket statement of what America should care about. And obviously America should care first and foremost about Americans. So he was really at his best, because you could see the speech had substance, but then, he brings in the hockey players, he brings in the 100-year-old veteran. Obviously, Erica Kirk was there. So it had just enough of a show. He had a couple riffing funny lines, and he just, I think, put together a package that most people see as pro-America. And I just don't know how you could look at the Democrats right now and say there's anything pro-America about this party.
Yeah, and the empty seats, I think, are a detriment to them to not even show up. We were doing a live stream during it, and someone said that they bravely dipped into the Don Lemon live stream, and that they were really melting down because they wanted the Democrats that were there to do more, to be more obstructive through that process. I don't know that the Democrats can serve their party. I think they're so divided just on their own side that there isn't really an action or a motive that they could have that would unify them, even if it were just on their side of the aisle.
No, because what they've chosen at this point is the revolution. So everything is about the revolution. There's nobody that can stop it. So does Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, are they for the full-on revolution and the destruction of America? Probably not. I just have deep political disagreements with them. But I don't think they fundamentally hate the idea of America and the rest of it. However, they are dinosaurs in their party. And as they sink in the La Brea tar pits, the younger crew, the jihadi crew of Ilhan and Rashida and now AOC and the rest of them, they're just jumping over them to the other side. So they're sinking in the tar pits, and you've got these guys jumping over. So there's nobody, the inmates are running the asylum. There is nobody to say to them, you cannot do this. I just tweeted it out before I jumped on with you. Imagine if this was a yearly board meeting at a company, and the company president got up in front of 1,000 employees to tell you what's going on. And imagine there were 2 employees in the back who aren't particularly good at their job, but okay, they're there. And they just heckled the guy the entire time, even if they were great employees. Let's put aside their performance. There were just 2 people in the back who work for the company, and they're just screaming at the guy the whole time and heckling him and interrupting and everything else. What would happen to them at literally every company in the country?
Yeah.
They would be fired by the end of the day. But instead, they are the leaders of the Democrat Party.
Yeah, it's a problem for the Democrats. I know that in certain places where they are just overrun with far leftist Democrat policies, Minnesota being a good example, they're kind of reaping what they sow there. Of course, we're seeing in New York City a communist be the mayor there. I don't know how it manifests itself on the national scale, but I do think that the president choosing to meet that version of control on the Democrat Party with putting Americans first, I actually thought, and nobody's going to be out there really making this the headline because they're going to miss it in all of the other stuff that's kind of bubbling up to the top. But Donald Trump really wasn't very braggadocious last night. He had the opportunity to captivate the United States of America. And dare I say, he might have even been a little humble. And he highlighted all of these other people who do tell the American story. It was as if the State of the Union was about the union this time and not just about the politicians and the politics.
Yeah, look, even the 2 times where he mentioned the Trump accounts and what was the other Trump thing? There was the Trump accounts and one other thing. And he's like, I didn't name them. It's like, all right, I'll take his word for that. But even that's not like standard Trump 101 stuff. It would be, hey, I named it. It's Trump. It's me. I put my hair in it and what to do. So there is something, I think there is something that's shifting with him. I also think he fully understands that if these 9 months now leading up to November's midterms, if they don't go well, his presidency is basically over, because if the Democrats take over, he's a lame duck, number one. They will impeach him, or they'll go for impeachment. Number two, and he'll lose his allies. All the allies will just jump ship because they're going to realize, hey, the Trump thing's kind of over. We got to figure out who the next Republican is, or we're going to, join the Democrats. So he knows how absolutely critical these next 9 months are. And again, I think that's really why he was at his best last night. It was a little bit of all his tricks. And now we just need some of it to work and the people to realize it.
Yeah, the laser focus when President Trump is locked in, it's a good thing for the country. Last area I kind of want to talk about with you, because you've been outspoken on this, and I really appreciate your take. I always read what you post on these types of things, because we've discussed how the Democrats could implode upon themselves without any Republican intervention whatsoever. But the Republican, talking about the hundreds of millions of people who tune in to a speech like that, there's a lot of in the weeds stuff that I deal with as a broadcaster, you deal with as a broadcaster, and it can kind of get in the way. I feel like a State of the Union is kind of a cleanse for me to kind of get grounded again and be like, okay, what really matters here? How is the Republican Party, the conservative movement, what's the health of that movement right now going into the midterm? Are we going to be able to get out of our own way?
Yeah, I love how you frame that, because you're right. It is a cleanse in some sense. And my hope would be that for whatever infighting there is on the right, say the Tucker side of this thing that has become, hyper isolationist, I would say largely against Western values, and I think undermining MAGA all the time. I mean, Tucker said just a few weeks ago he hates the Republicans, right? So, and he's actually kinder when he brings on lefties now on his show than when he brings on conservatives or Republicans. I think there's a moment because of last night where it's like, just get on board this. Yeah. Get on board the idea of America. You may not agree with everything. Let's say Iran is the big thing that Tucker doesn't agree with. I don't even know what it is at this point. I don't think he really knows. But get on board, because it is better than the alternative. Donald Trump, in the 13 and a half months or whatever it is that he's been president, he has basically done everything he has said he's going to do, and he's still not even halfway there. Right. It's like, give the guy a chance. He is better at 40, as Trump 47, than he was at 45. The cabinet is better. It was great to watch all of those people. You see highly competent Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, et cetera, and Bobby Kennedy. To see these great people, this is the best chance we got. And if your goal on the Republican side of things is to hack away at it so we end up with President Gavin Newsom, well, then we'll get exactly what we deserve.
Oh, what a threat. Okay, everybody, lock in. It's time to roll. Dave Rubin says so.
It's a little early for a drink, but
Not too early for that drink. I'll take that. Cheers to you, Dave Rubin. Thank you for the time today. So wonderful to have your thoughts on the State of the Union speech, and we'd love to have you come back again soon.
Always enjoy talking to you, Annie.
Take care. Bye-bye. The Dave Rubin, the Rubin Report on X at Rubin Report, and the Rubin Report is a great show that you should tune into. Check the podcast, all the things. You're gonna want to lock into that one as well. All right, let's take a quick break. The YouTube poll for today: how did you feel about President Trump's address? We got to speak with Mark Cox earlier in the show, who was there in the room, in the gallery at the State of the Union. Dave Rubin reacting as well from a really interesting standpoint. So if you missed any of that, reminder, you can get the podcast for the Annie Fry Show, wherever you get your podcast from. But a reminder, you can also stream us live on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Go check us out there. Back in a minute.
Believe in me. Help me believe in anything. 'Cause I wanna be someone who believes. Yeah.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com, 314-271-9900. You've got a leaky basement. You've got a Matt Hayes solution at the other end of that phone call. 314-271-9900. You reach out to him, whatever your foundation concern is, he is there to repair it. That's why he's Home Shield Foundation Repair. And he's a hometown guy as well. When you are looking for somebody you can rely on, who's the ownership is here in St. Louis. It's built from the bottom up, and you have decades of experience of fixing foundational concerns that you might have in your basement, at work, residentially, commercially, even concrete walkways that might have shifted over time. He can level those out for you. That he can do in like one day. You've got a guy in Matt Hayes who is going to do honest work. He's going to give you great customer service and a solution that you can rely on. 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Home Shield Foundation Repair. They're waiting for your phone call. When you talk to Matt Hayes, tell him Annie sent you. Online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
Let's show our appreciation for local heroes. Mark Cox here. Nominate a first responder and their department could get lunch from Grill Master Tony's. I'll personally deliver it. Share their story at 971talk.com. Nominate them today.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then, we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
It's that time of year to refresh those tired, stained, and worn-out carpets for spring. Call Carpet Guy Home Services with deals starting as low as $39.95. Our professional cleaning will bring your carpets back to life. For all your home cleaning services, schedule online at www.callcarpetguy.com.
Get ready, St. Louis area. The St. Charles Boat Show is here March 5th through 8th at the St. Charles Convention Center. See the top dealers from the Lake of the Ozarks and climb aboard your next dream boat. New models, great deals, and summer fun starts here. Visit lakeoftheozarksboatdealers.com for details.
Annie Fry is St. Louis conservative.
All right. Why did he play this song for you?
This is a good song. I don't know. I like it, though.
I wish I was a little bit
I'm not reading any subtext.
taller.
Just jamming.
I wish I was a baller. If you were a baller at anything, Ryan, what would you be a baller at?
Golf.
Okay.
You could say that's a baller sport, right?
Sure. If you're really good at it.
Yeah.
If you're a middle-aged man who golfs 3 times a year and you shoot 98, you can't be like, I'm a baller, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, what are you knocking people with breaking 100?
Yeah, too bad you
Why are you
suck.
Wiggins!
Wiggins!
Someone's in charge of the buttons.
Feels good.
That open makes me feel like a baller. Wiggins. Yeah. Oh, we need to play the long one soon for March Madness, where it says Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins with the man's jam.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, there is a longer version of it. I'll play it during March Madness.
Was I the one who found that? Who is that? Andrew Wiggins?
I made that. It is Andrew Wiggins.
So this is
the
actually
NBA player?
I'm gonna have a little St. Louis connection here real quick.
Okay.
Andrew Wiggins is the guy that had the dunk in that highlight clip.
Yep.
Played for Kansas, was the #1 pick in college. His one and only year in college, Kansas was the 2 seed. They got upset in the first round, and that was in St. Louis.
I know that.
You're welcome.
Now I do. All right, the topic today is non-negotiable safety rules at home for your kids. Now, I want to see if these are really ones that you take very, very seriously, whether you think they're a good idea. These come from a self-described former, law enforcement agent who dealt with the topic of missing children. And so she says, these are the rules. You should teach your kids these things. Number 1, no child should ever help a stranger. No exceptions.
Yeah, yes.
This one seems pretty obvious.
Well, it seems obvious, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not something that you would obviously, actively go tell your kids. You're probably going to see them do that once and be like, oh, no.
Right. Yeah, like getting ahead of it to tell them
Like
ahead
at the
of time.
park, they're
No,
playing.
Don't.
And
Let me. You don't.
Yeah, just you don't talk to strangers. You don't help strangers, nothing.
Yeah, a child never helps an unknown adult. Not with bags, not directions, not just for a second. She told her daughter one sentence on repeat. Adults ask other adults for help.
Yeah.
They don't ask children for help.
Yeah.
Very good rule.
Tell me about it.
Number 2, online secrecy is always a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
This rule came straight from message logs. Most cases began with phrases like, you're special, hey, don't tell your parents, but things like that you have to watch for. Somebody's telling your kids, or if you are a kid, and somebody's telling you, hey, let's keep this between you and I, that's a red flag.
I coach a lot of sports, have coached a lot of sports in the last 12 years and, 20 years really. But it's more of a thing now because all these middle school kids have phones and stuff. Kids want to text me. And I just don't want to text kids.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about that.
They probably don't want to text. They probably would if I had Snapchat, that would be, but I don't. Well, actually, maybe I do, but I don't know if I've opened it in years. But kids will want to communicate with adults via technology, and I just don't feel comfortable with that. There's a few occasions where maybe my family has become close with another family where those lines are blurred, but very obviously among the families. But that, creating a scenario where an adult, a coach, a teacher starts to cultivate some sort of private relationship via communication is hugely problematic.
I'll tell you where the lines are also semi-blurred, but there are a lot of guardrails too, is with teacher-students. Both of us are married to teachers. You know, probably from watching your husband, I watch my wife do this. Off campus, off hours, they're supposed to be connected all the time now. My wife is supposed to be available to her students 24/7, which is ridiculous.
No, she should be in the public schools.
Oh, is it different there?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. They
you know
tell
why?
her. Yeah.
Unions.
I was going to say probably union.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that don't get it messed up, folks. That doesn't mean that public school teachers don't stay plugged in, but there are barriers on expectations that you'll have some people. This is always something that kind of drives me crazy. Teachers will talk about I spend 14 hours a day working because you take work home or whatever. I never think that they actually regularly spend 14 hours a day working. But if I were to total up in a day how much time I spend researching news, paying attention to the news, reading news, stuff outside of the show, it would be more than 8 hours. But it's just kind of the flow of life, and it's what I have to do for my job to do it well. But the more time you spend, for teachers to be very accessible, I think that technology makes it harder to keep definitive lines.
Yes, it absolutely does. And it's why this is one of the areas where you see predatory behavior more often, because those lines are blurrier. So you got to watch it even more carefully.
I would never want a teacher to be texting my child.
No, of course not.
And that's why I don't, as a coach, ever like if I send a text message to a kid who is on my team, it will always be a response to something they sent, and it will be an ending to. I'm not like that's that period. But if they were to say like, "Hey, coach, what time is practice today?" It would be like 6 p.m. Done.
Yeah.
Not. And how was your day?
Tell me about your feelings.
No.
The next one is if you're lost, children, stay exactly where you are. This rule goes against instinct, but don't leave, don't run, don't wander, don't try to figure it out alone. Movement, this person says, is what puts children in danger. The rule is simple. Stay where you are and ask only a woman with children for help.
Oh, that's interesting and understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write that down.
You can write all these down if you want to. No child ever helps a stranger.
The other ones I think I've probably covered, but I have talked about with my children, the younger ones, like if you got lost right now, what would you do? And I just ask them what they would do, and then they kind of explain.
Mm-hmm.
But like Molly being over 4.5, you have to have that conversation regularly because it changes.
Right. The next one is just try it is your signal to leave immediately. Doesn't matter what's being offered. What matters is pressure. If you have an adult who is pressuring you to do something, who is not somebody you already know, I'll add, the ability to say no instantly protects more children than long lectures ever will. Teach your children to say no to just trying something.
Yeah,
it's a little bit tougher to teach. It's a little more loose, but a general principle. And the last one on the list is this. Fear means act, not stay silent. If something feels wrong, the child must scream, run, fight back, make a scene, even if the adult is familiar. It says the children who survived these situations chose noise over politeness. Maybe I could speak. Politeness. Politeness does not bring children home, is the general rule here.
Yeah. Ugh, I hate thinking about all this stuff.
I know.
But you do have to have these conversations. You do have to discuss with your kids, like, what happens if. And, if you're having the conversation in a time where it's not directly connected to something that they can cognitively attach, like, oh, that's a tangible, scary thing. If you bring it up and you're just like, what would you do if, you're in Walmart? What would happen if I turned a corner and you couldn't find me? Like, what would your immediate reaction be? And when you talk about those things and it's not attached to something super scary, then they can kind of think about it in a more safe space. But sometimes you'll talk to your kids about it and they'll say, oh, I would do this. And it's like, that is the worst thing you can do. So you have to have the conversation so that you can avoid those things.
That's a great way to approach those conversations.
Did you ever get like major loss as a kid?
Not that I can remember. I remember losing one of my kids though for a minute.
Did you get him back?
It was in, yeah.
Yeah.
It was in like a play place where they were going in through tubes and stuff, and they went through a tube that went to an area I didn't even know about.
How old were they?
3 maybe.
Mine was pretty similar.
I mean, it was
I
bad.
was in SeaWorld, and it was probably only like 10, 15 minutes, but it felt like eternity for me. Oh, horrible.
Your mom or your dad lose you?
We were all together.
So it was
I don't know
either?
if there's anyone, yeah.
Oh, I bet it felt like even longer for them.
Probably.
Terrifying stuff.
Oh, it's terrifying.
All right, tell us how you felt about the president's Trump address. Vote in the YouTube poll, 314-241-9797. Text us back in a minute.
The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower cost than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
AirComfortService.com, 314-513-0091. It's Air Comfort Service heating, cooling, and insulation. And insulation is an incredibly huge part of ensuring that your comfort zone is in tip-top shape. And the Air Comfort Service team, they're the best at it. You're looking at the tops team in the area. Just like go online, Google their reviews, because you're going to see accolade after accolade, industry award after industry award for all of the different things that they've been able to do so consistently, along with providing great customer service. But people go to them because they can trust them. You want to make sure that your HVAC system is in great hands, and the HVAC system does partner up with insulation. Right now, you can reach out to Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091 and talk to them about whether or not you need your insulation evaluated. If you work with them right now, they're offering a 15% off blown-in attic insulation plus 1 year of HVAC maintenance for free. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, it's Mark Cox here with my friend and trusted realtor Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, we've worked together for 6 years now. You have 23 years of experience with your Guaranteed Sold program, but many don't know you also have a guaranteed multiple cash offer program for serious sellers.
That's right. Some sellers are looking for speed, certainty, and to avoid repairs and open houses. I just helped a family in December to sell their parents' estate. They chose me because I offered 4 cash offers at our first meeting, which gave them options picking the best cash offer. Whether it's multiple cash offers or my Guaranteed Sold program, my sellers are always in control to sell fast and for the most money. It's my guarantees and my buyers in waiting program that set me apart from other realtors.
Take it from me. Call Gloria Liu right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree upon price and possession date.
KFTK FM Florissant. An Odyssey station. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The afternoon will bring a bit of an increase in clouds, but all is quiet. 53. Tonight, clouds, a couple of light rain showers after midnight. Could be a couple of wet snowflakes mixed in, but only 37 for the low. On Thursday, an early morning leftover shower, otherwise partly sunny and 49. Friday and Saturday, sunny. It's warm. 67 Friday and again on Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
More Epstein-related fallout. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former Harvard President Larry Summers is giving up his academic and faculty roles at the university at the end of the school year, following scrutiny over Jeffrey Epstein.
In a statement to the Crimson, he said the decision to leave was, quote, difficult, and that he felt, quote, grateful to the students and colleagues he has taught and worked with. Summers has been on leave since November, when emails were released by the Department of Justice that showed details of a long-standing personal relationship between him and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The two had regularly exchanged messages about women, politics, and Harvard-linked projects over a span of 7 years.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Summers served as Treasury Secretary under President Clinton. An optimistic view on the U.S. economy.
I think we're about to get over the hump.
Vice President J.D. Vance telling Fox.
I think that tax season is around the corner. A lot of Americans, because of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, they're about to get a massive tax income refund. We've seen this massive trillions and trillions of dollars coming into our country to build new factories.
He says the president's asking the American people to let Republicans keep fixing a mess they inherited. Democrats say the president's fighting for himself, not Americans. The president calling Democrat critics lunatics in a social media post today, including Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who shouted during his State of the Union address that the president has killed Americans with an immigration enforcement crackdown. Iran keeps pushing back on the president's warning to make a nuclear deal.
With nuclear talks set to resume tomorrow in Geneva, Switzerland, quote, our fundamental convictions are crystal clear. Iran will under no circumstances ever develop a nuclear weapon. Neither will we Iranians ever forgo our right to harness the dividends of peaceful nuclear technology for our people.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. For now, a U.S. military buildup in the region continues. America is listening to Fox News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-983-2077 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-983-2077. That's 800-983-2077. What do you have to lose? Call 800-983-2077. Again, 800-983-2077.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Don't freeze as it gets colder. If your furnace isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in your comfort zone fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Great conversation with Dave Rubin in the 12 o'clock hour. Exciting to talk with him and get his reaction to the State of the Union. We want yours as well. The YouTube live chat poll for today. How did you feel about President Trump's address? Was it an A+? Was it sufficient? Could have been better or a disaster? We can potentially get some YouTube comments to feature here. And I know we've got some text messages coming in as well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to open the phone lines right now. If you want to weigh in on what the president did last night, if you want to talk to us about your thoughts on the speech, the Democrats, the Republicans, the way they behaved, where you think we're going next, you can call us or text us at 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797. What's the text line got so far?
A lot of comments. How about this one? It says, the State of the Union speech was fine, about like I expected. I didn't expect he would come out and say, look at everything that's gone wrong. So I think they're saying, that's what he was supposed to do. A person right after that said, they give him an F. Lies, lies, lies. And then right afterwards, a person says, I loved the president's speech. If Republicans don't use the Democratic reaction, they missed a great visual. And actually, Annie, a lot of people on here are mentioning that very moment that you led the show with. Actually, this one right here, I'll just read it. It says, I give it an A+. I loved when he called out the Democrats for standing up for illegals, but not for the citizens of the United States. So quite a few in that vein. And most of it's very positive. A+, A+, A+ right afterwards.
It's the biggest issue right now, the ICE and the deportation. I'm going to tell you this, too. I don't know if you ever are brave enough to dip into the comment section. A lot of local news channels on Facebook will post a story about there was a story here recently that was shared of a man, I think he was deported in October of 2025, and his wife is here. They were from here, and she's now going to move to Mexico with her child to be with him. Are they going to try to come back? I don't know. But I'm actually really, if you go into the local TV news station Facebook pages, the way they present them, I'm not going to call out anybody specifically, but it's always positioned in a way that kind of lends you to have sympathy for the person who is deported. So
Always.
it's the way it's positioned is sympathetic to the person who was in the United States illegally, who has met up with law enforcement and is now facing the consequences of those actions. And so I'm always like, okay, I'm going to see what people are saying under here. I mean, it's 10-1. He shouldn't have been here illegally.
No kidding.
I'm looking at this going, am I seeing this correctly? Did Facebook just create an algorithm that's like, here's what Annie wants to see? We'll put those comments up first. Scroll. That it really does still seem to be 80-20, 90-10 issue. That if you're here illegally and you get deported, that is at best sad and unfortunate, and you can understand the humanity and tragedy in that story. But you are here illegally, and that's the law. It's not like hateful. Sometimes it will be. But the overall sentiment is they were here illegally. That's the end of the story.
Not sure why I reacted to that with surprise, because that backs up the polling. This is still something like a 70-30 issue when you just ask the basic question, because that's the key. You just ask people, should people here illegally be allowed to stay? The answer is overwhelmingly no. And if you go further, you ask them, should they be deported? The overwhelming support is yes, they should be deported. It's when you get into the specifics. If you go, well, do you like this thing that happened in Minnesota? Do you like this thing that happened over here? That tends to break a little bit more by party lines.
Yeah.
But overwhelmingly, Americans still, in general, say, yes, this is a clear issue. Deportations are necessary.
And the problem had been made to be so great that this is unfortunately where we are. It shouldn't have gotten to this point. We shouldn't have been letting millions of people in with a faux promise that they'd be able to stay, because that was never actually the law. That was just the politics of the moment. 314-241-9797 if you want to give us a call. We've got a couple of phone calls lining up here. You can also text us at 314-241-9797. Here's Senator Eric Schmidt last night.
I think what President Trump did very effectively in the speech, you've seen a lot of speeches, I've seen a lot of speeches, been with him. I think this was one of his best, because he gave he laid out what a mess it was before. We have to remember that. The things that he's done in a year to fix the problems. I mean, securing the border, lowering crime, doing all these things, and then an optimistic view about America moving forward. Those are three very important things to do in one speech. I think he nailed it. And the Democrats, Sean, they cannot help themselves. The party is defined by this Trump derangement syndrome. It is metastasized. They have nothing else to talk about. And on nights like tonight, it shows.
So Senator Eric Schmidt, I think, making a good point there. You know, it's interesting. Like, what is the policy? What's the overarching policy and focus for the Democrat Party? I'm wondering if you're going to say the thing I'm thinking. Like, what does the Democrat Party stand for?
Just resistance.
Trump, anti-Trump.
That's it.
Yes. And last night, Donald Trump's State of the Union was not about Trump.
Ooh.
Which is really, was that an intentional, was that an intellectual approach at what is the one thing that the Democrats, what can they stir the pot with? They can stir emotions, they can stir up support, or at least reaction, chatter, likes, clicks, shares, that type of thing, when Trump is doing the things that they can easily, the super low-hanging fruit, where Donald Trump comes out and he's boasting about himself and he's, being insulting, and Donald Trump didn't, I said this with Dave Rubin earlier. He was so disciplined, and he took the opportunity to take the podium and the position to deliver that address last night, and he made it about the American people, as opposed to making it about himself. So that means that the people who are in his direct opposition, those who were sitting in the room, but all of those who decided not even to show up for work that night, that means that the only thing that they collectively agree on, which, you can sum it up in two words right now, and it's F Trump. In all of their campaign ads, that is the ad. It's just F Trump. He went and made it about veterans and heroes and Americans that you probably can't even remember their name today, but it was one after the other after the other. How do they push back against that? He didn't give them what they wanted.
It was
genius.
It was to a soundtrack of Freebird. I mean, it really was.
There was a Clydesdale and an eagle coming up from behind it. It was taking off with pure American USA.
Yeah. And it was just the solo from Freebird, the whole 140 minutes.
Let's get to Steven's phone call. If you want to call us, 314-241-9797 or react to the State of the Union, we'd love to hear from you. Steven, what were your thoughts last night on the president's speech?
Oh, man, the way he has honored our military, our veterans, there's nothing else like it. I mean, I had so many goosebumps all over me when Melania was putting that medal around that 100-year-old veteran's neck. I mean, my goodness, from the last presidency we had where this goes in the military and we're going to let that fly in the military. I mean, Trump from day one has done nothing but honor our veterans. He has taken care of our soldiers, and they are the backbone that helps this country remain a free country. And the patriotism that he showed last night to our military is just, it's just absolutely wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely wow.
I love it. Stephen, thank you for the phone call. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Take care. I think that the idea of patriotism being on full display, okay. Do conservatives and Republicans own patriotism in our country? I don't think that they do. But if you're going to stereotype somebody who's got like an American flag flying out of the back of their pickup truck, I got a good idea of where their party lean is.
Let me add to this. We don't want to own patriotism.
Amen.
We don't want to own it. We want everybody to be patriotic. We just have to unite around really a lot of the issues he talked about last night, which is why I think we all were like, thumbs up, this was good stuff.
Yeah. But just having said that out loud with you here right now, that his speech was not about Trump in a very un-Trumpian way. Now, his States of the Union have been some of his most presidential moments. It's as if he has a reverence for that opportunity in that moment. Maybe he listens to his advisors enough. It's not rally Trump. He got some of his greatest hits in there too, where he was talking about the 2020 election, and the only thing he said about the stolen election was like there was some funny business there or something like that.
I missed that. I didn't see that clip.
It was in passing, and it was like if you were new to politics, if that's the first political consumption that you've had in 2026, you would not have picked it up.
Okay.
The dog whistle, if you will.
Okay.
I think that I ran a poll last night on the live stream, which was a very The Science based poll from the 80 people who were watching along with us and chatting. And, we had, 125 votes total in the poll. And I think 75% of them, I said, what do you want to hear the president talk about tonight? And it was the economy, foreign policy, immigration, border security, social issues. 75% were like economy. That is where you meet people in the middle. That is where the people who look at the Elon Omars of the world and say, that's not my party. I don't know if I'm going to go over to this pinkish, reddish side of the aisle, but I'm not doing that. And if you've got an economy that I've said this before and I'll say it again, that if you look at where we are right now economically in this country, there's still a lot of room for improvement in a lot of different areas. But how many of the areas where there's room for improvement a year ago, 3 years ago, you got to consider the ground traversed from where we've been to where we are to really understand the kind of progress that the Trump administration has made in 1 year in office. That if we've finally been able to poke our head above water, that doesn't mean we're out of the woods. That's a lot of, what do you call those? Euphemisms?
No,
Analogies?
I don't think they're euphemisms.
You got your head about, just because you get your head above water doesn't mean you're out of the woods.
I think you're dipping into fables.
Fables? Whatever. I don't know. I'm not a professional speaker. If we can take in a little bit of oxygen right now and tread water as we continue to move with a game plan to get on the shore so we can sprint, so we can run. If we were drowning before and we're not right now, that has to be acknowledged as significantly positive progress. But I also think it's okay to look at the administration and go, more. We want more. Keep pushing in that direction. You've got a policy that you want to put in place. Get it done. Now's the time. Full throttle. Turn this economy into a four-furnace fire and let's freaking go. And I think that that's what Donald Trump wants to do. The midterms will bring that to a screeching halt. So if you hear this and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, it would really, okay, do you love everything that every Republican is doing in elected office? I don't. I'm sure you don't either. do you look at the Democrats and go, it would be interesting to see what they could do if they were given the opportunity to fix this? No! Millstone around the neck, whoop, into the water. You're cooked, to use another phrase.
I think you're just using metaphor, really, is all.
Metaphors? Is that
That's
what it
all
is?
it is.
I don't know.
You were just dipping into if there was a thorn in the lion's paw. Let me just.
I don't know that one.
Let me just add this.
So whatever you mean by it, cool.
So good. The Democrats, you said this already, but the Democrats, and I was writing it down, they don't have a plan with most things, especially foreign policy. They have no foreign policy plan at all. But they do have plans with economics. They're full on communism, though. Everybody who's getting elected on economics on the left is communist. So they do have a plan. It's just as far left as you can be.
Yeah.
And it's not enough now to be a Republican who says, well, I'm not a communist. I'm just going to be a traditional American citizen and have a normal economic plan. No, you have to go the other direction and actively pursue reasons to come to America, which is exactly what Trump is doing. And so that's why his economic plan is actually fantastic and working way faster than if you just had fill in the blank Republican in there right now.
And he's actually doing things that he believes are going to produce things. So we have the opportunity to find out if he's right or if he's wrong. The left is just like, but Trump sucks.
That's it.
And then they're done. Before we get to a break, let's get Andrew's phone call in here. Andrew, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your thoughts on the president's speech last night?
Well, I actually want to comment first on what you said earlier about the social media. It was hysterical. Right when you said that, I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Fox 2 in St. Louis just posted that story, and I did exactly what you did. I looked at all the comments, and it's like 10-1 in favor of the law. And I just thought it was hysterical you said that. In that same vein, I think of voter ID. We talk about the president's speech last night. You mentioned it's a 70-30 split when it comes to if people are here illegally, what the really polling shows. It's the same thing with voter ID. And you got I think the polling showed even slight majority of Democrats are in favor of it. And so it's another one of those issues where the media spins it. I mean, Chuck Schumer said it was Jim Crow 2.0. No, it's not. What planet are you on? So I just think when you think of immigration and voter ID, those are two things that Democrats, they are not in touch with reality at all.
Amen to that. Andrew, thank you for listening, and we appreciate you calling in the show today.
You got it.
Take care. Yeah, those are two issues, too, that if you think about what the president and this administration can continue to do, because they've already made they've almost solved the problem of border security.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
last 9 months, there's been zero.
Yes. And they did that day one just by saying, hey, the law, we're going to follow it. It was already in place, which just shows how much of a windbag President Biden was in the way that he said that the border was requiring that bipartisan agreement in order for anything to happen. I mean, just absolutely full of crap he was on that issue. But if you look at what border security and the removal of illegal immigrants from this country who are utilizing our resources, so there is an exponential benefit that comes from restoring the American experience that is funded by the American tax dollar going back into American citizens and those who have said, I love this country. I want to be a part of this country in any way that I legally possibly can. I'm going to get a work visa. I'm going to get a student visa. I'm going to apply for a green card. I'm going to apply for citizenship, and I'm going to go through the process to get to the place where I can take part in the greatness that is this country. We should laud and champion that. I would really love to see if the president is able to continue to accomplish what he is doing right now with the deportations and the border security. I would really love to see the last 2 years, led by J.D. Vance, a refined process to become a citizen in this country. It doesn't need to be made to be easy, but it should be made publicly understood by the American people that Republicans want immigrants here. We just want you to do it within the system. That we champion immigrants, that we know that the process needs to be streamlined or refined. I mean, all of the red tape that's probably involved in all of that. It doesn't mean that you have to speed up the process on a timeline, but you should refine it so that I can only imagine the archaic nature with which we do that kind of a process. My grandmother is from Australia, immigrated here, and had to go through the whole process and was incredibly proud of having accomplished that. We should celebrate that. It is something to be celebrated. And if you are able to, on the back end of the Trump administration, if you're able to celebrate people coming here after saying, okay, if you decided to be here illegally, and of course they've also said, if you self-deport, there are a lot of benefits to self-deporting, including hard cash and the ability to return. Continue doing that. On the other hand, refine and publicize the way to become a citizen. I think that would be a positive forward-thinking take that shows that we don't just hate foreigners. That's kind of what they're trying to bubble it down to from the left.
Well, this is a forward-thinking administration. They are ahead on every possible issue that they can get ahead on.
Let's talk more about it when we come back. Give us your thoughts at 314-241-9797. Call or text. We'll feature some of you guys right here in the Annie Fry Show when we return.
And if they all forget my name, well, that's fine with me. I'm living for the world to see. Nobody but Jesus.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
When's the last time you gave your home's exterior a little love? Hi, it's Kim, and if your siding is cracking, it's fading, or just doesn't stand up to our St. Louis weather, it's time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design because they're experts in James Hardie siding, which is this durable, low-maintenance option, and it looks beautiful. Plus, you have customizable colors and textures, and so you can give your home a completely new look while protecting it for decades. Don't wait until the small problems turn into big ones. Visit lakesidearty.com to schedule your free consultation.
There's one thing I really want to say to Donald Trump. If you come for my people, you come through me.
That was Pritzker's challenge to President Trump. But who are Pritzker's people? They're the more than 1,700 illegal alien predators he helped escape from ICE. They're the illegal aliens whose health care, rent, and college tuition you pay for. You can't afford to stay because Pritzker makes you pay for his people. Well, I have a message for you, Governor. I'll be coming for you and going through you. Your days and the days of sanctuary living for your people are over. I'm Ted Dabrowski, your conservative candidate for governor, and I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on March 17th. Paid for by Ted for Illinois.
Vote for Ted Dabrowski on March 17th.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The Annie Fry Show is St. Louis conservative.
Baby, this is what you came for. Lightning strikes every time she moves. And everybody's watching her, but she's looking at you.
Quote, these people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy. I mean, but that's not something we ever heard from Obama or Biden from that stage.
No, I mean, listen, we've never had a speaker rip up a speech either. But when you're saying issues like, we're talking about trucking. We have, and this comes in my space, where you have states that are issuing driver's licenses to illegals who haven't been trained to drive a 80,000-pound truck on an American road. We have a little girl that had a life impacted for the rest of her life, and she's 5 years old, and it was an illegal who hit her I think the question becomes, why doesn't every Democrat stand up and go, no, we want well-qualified drivers on American roads. That's not partisan. We don't want illegals who can't speak the language, contrary to American law for decades, to not be on American roads. I think those are easy issues, Jake. And I don't think we saw Democrats stand up and support them. We got some applause for the U.S. Olympic hockey team, but that was probably one of the only bipartisan moments of the night, which I think is too bad. Again, if inflation's down, Democrats should applaud it. If real incomes are up, Democrats should applaud it. Those are good things that we should support as Americans. And just because Donald Trump's in office doesn't mean you have to sit on your hands. You should applaud that because that's good for America.
Yeah, that's right, Sean Duffy. Also, I can't help, I know this is radio, so I'll describe it for you. But it's interesting to me that Jake's smile is upside down. Is he smiling?
I don't know. It does look like it's sort of a smile, but it's not facing the right direction.
If you turned your head upside down and looked at just his mouth, you would think he was smiling.
It's not a frown.
But it's not a frown. Turn that smile upside down.
You know what that face is? The face of journalism.
I don't know.
No? It was an upside down smile that's not a frown.
Love My 57 says A+ all day on the speech. Also really cool of Annie to host a watch party, made the speech that much better. Oh, thank you. That was fun. And I was grateful to have such a good group of people last night being very chatty with it. And you can kind of test, if you're watching it at home on your couch and you're feeling kind of pumped by it, you're kind of wondering, like, am I just getting sucked into this because I want to like it? You start talking with, last night, tens of other people that you've had conversations with before. It's always a fun time to do that. Joe says the economy is too good. I couldn't get away at work to watch the State of the Union. So how do you feel about the president's address? That's what we're asking. Crystal said, I voted sufficient. I agree with majority of what was stated. I appreciated and enjoyed those people are crazy comment. That itself was A+. So Crystal commenting in the wake of what Jake Tapper is kind of challenging the transportation secretary there, saying, we've never had a president stand up there and look at these people and say that these people are crazy. Have they ever been this crazy before?
I don't think so.
I mean, to think about when President Trump said these people are crazy, I appreciated the fact that he used normal people words to identify what was, because that's what we think. You look at there and you're like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
How could you sit down for that? How can you not stand up in that moment? Like, just stand. You don't have to, like, rip your shirts off and have your belly say Trump when they ask, like, you want to stand for the America first, or Americans first over illegal immigrants. But you could stand up. Now, if they would have stood up, what would the story be today?
I don't know that it would be a story that they stood. I think that it would be so normal for you to stand in some of those circumstances that there would be nothing to write about. So they've really hurt themselves by making it a story that they wouldn't stand for such normal things.
I think that there would be politicos out there saying, the Democrats said President Trump says that if you support putting Americans first, stand up, and everybody stood up, I think you'd have pundits today going, you stood up for that, but you don't stand up for them and then you fill in the blank here.
Sure.
But the visuals, man.
It's a mess.
The social media, you got that guy, I don't know who the representative is, but he's like leaning over with his head on his hands. He just looks miserable. Ilhan Omar.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Jayapal was sitting next to her in her red lipstick, just going, Talib. These people.
I was talking to a maintenance guy this morning that I run into every now and then because I do this real estate stuff. And I know him well enough. Don't know him well. I know him well enough that he hates politics. And he hates the back and forth of politics. And without saying anything, he brought it up to me. He goes, "You watched State of the Union last night?" I said, "Well, of course I did." He goes, I said, "Did you watch it?" More importantly, not being a Politico. And he said, yeah, I watched it. And the first thing he said was, "Can you believe that person Ilhan Omar, you didn't know her name, who just was yelling at the president. He said, that just looks so bad.
It looks terrible.
And that's all he said.
And, I don't know how inundated he is with politics, but all of that stuff visually matters.
It does.
On social media, that visually matters. Now, there are people who are going to see her yelling at the president in that scene, and they're going to love every bit of it. They lived for that moment. But the majority of people who are in the middle, who think everything in that room is corrupt and annoying and doesn't work for the people, they don't. That makes them want to turn away from it. I can't think of a single thing that the Democrats won last night. And somebody made a comment here. I'm going to find it when we come back. But it was talking about how the coverage last night, the fact-checking that was taking place around the president's speech compared to the fact-checking that was given to Spanberger's rebuttal.
Oh, gosh.
Here's the thing, folks. I forgot she made a rebuttal scene.
Did you?
I mean, I watched some of it, and it was like it was what a rebuttal was. There was nothing remarkable in that. It's completely forgettable, which honestly, for some of these things, forgettable is maybe better than the worst-case scenario, which is Marco Rubio, who, man, is now the Secretary of State, was thirsty one day.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Katie Britt.
Katie Britt? No, where Marco Rubio was like, I love him. I've always loved him.
He's rebounded.
A little. Yeah. He's like, I'll prove these people. He should get a sponsorship, Aquafina or something. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Point Pest Control, point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com. 10% discount when you call 636-798-0023. Book their services by mentioning my name. And you're going to get an additional 10% discount right off the top of whatever the best special that they have going for whatever services you're looking for. They can help you right now. We're really close to March, and I hate this. I don't even like looking at the word, but my copy points here say March and October are for spiders. Not in my house. I get those spiders dead. They don't exist in my home because Point Pest Control is in my home. They treat my home inside and outside quarterly. I am a premium service plan subscriber. They come to my house. They'll treat the inside, the outside. I don't have pests, and it's amazing. I would not do without Point Pest Control. And I encourage you, if inside residentially or commercially, you've got a pest problem that you want to handle, Point Pest Control is ready to take on the job. But don't forget to mention Annie when you call, because I'm going to save you 10%. 636-798-0023, 636-798-0023, point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
The YouTube live chat poll. How did you feel about President Trump's address last night? The four options: A+, sufficient, could have been better, or disaster. Go and vote on the YouTube live chat poll on the Annie Fry Show YouTube channel on the live stream for today. We're going to give those results a little bit over an hour away from now, and I'm very curious to see how the people here on 97.1 thought and took away from. Ooh, we shall see. Annie says A+. We'll get more info on why that is here later in the show. The time is 1:36. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Gen Z. You're good at this. Go ahead.
I want to do a YouTube poll someday about how do you feel about radio hosts singing the bump music as they're going into a segment, because, you know, we play music. We want you to get pumped when you're getting it. Like, here's a great song. We're going to turn it off and talk now. That's
the way it is.
Really how it works.
That's the way talk radio is.
Yeah.
We come in and we go, that's not why you're here.
You're
here for this.
The amount of radio show hosts that have a song come in and they're feeling it and they start singing it on the air. I don't know that it's ever a good idea. Now you do it in a mocking way.
I enjoy
I know
when
that,
Ryan
but
does it.
that's for entertainment. You're not impressing people. You're just making mostly me laugh.
Yes, I am.
I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings.
This is a huge wake up call, and I don't like it.
No, can we get some Carrie Underwood Christmas music going up in here?
That's
we
not
already
the
played
only
Carrie
thing I can
Underwood
sing.
today.
Do you hear what I hear?
No, not in February.
What you don't see because you're listening to the radio and you can't see what happens. But when Ryan decides that he's going to go into said singing endeavor, maybe a little rock mouth. What's that song? Light Shine Bright?
Yeah, Light Shine Bright.
Is that the one that...
Just the female part is rock mouth.
Rock mouth, yes. It's a feature. I'll be sitting in the studio. I'm getting ready to say something into the microphone, Lord knows what. And I look over, and Ryan is getting into the character. He steps back away from the microphone. He gets back away, and he looks up to the ceiling. He takes a deep breath. And then he closes his eyes, and he steps up to the microphone and sings in falsetto.
It's got to be a good song, though.
But with great conviction.
And it's got to be a female singer.
And belief.
Or something by the darkness. I can do all of that in falsetto.
I believe in a thing called love.
I believe in a thing called love.
Is that the darkness?
Just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
Is there? Do they sing another song?
That's the main one.
Is there another song I know?
I don't think so. Just that.
What was the story you wanted to do? This is the best I got.
I said at the beginning, you're a professional. You can do this.
And
then here we are.
Gave it my best.
Did you see the?
There it is. See, okay.
No. I told you no.
Come on,
I already
man.
told you no.
Get in the character.
No means no, Ethan.
Not here.
You need to learn that in college.
He's done with college, and he's locked up. He's married.
Do you see what I see?
Close your eyes and lift your head to the side. He's so happy. Feel it, Ryan.
With a tail as big as a
Okay.
I told you no, and then I still did it. That's because I love radio so much that I'm trying to keep it from falling.
Because you're an addict to jokes. You can't.
I am kind
You can't help
You have a
yourself.
problem.
It's so helpful for me. Yeah. Nobody tell him. Don't let him admit it. We don't need him to fix it.
Doggone it. It's like a feast on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Can't not take a bite.
Go on.
Did you see the viral news story about New York City dating that has become so upside down that they're making women pay $100 to enter the bar or the whatever the event
Women
is.
have to pay to get in?
What?
Women are having to pay, and $100 too, not a little bit. $100 to get in, and guys get in free.
Stop it.
Because there are so many more women coming to events like that than guys that they need the guys to show up. This is all over the place, all over Instagram right now.
So it used to be that the fact that the women were there enticed the men to show up.
Exactly. And it's usually, happy hour, women drink free. That was like a big thing all the time.
Yeah. I've enjoyed a few of those.
It has completely flipped on its head in New York City. And I pulled this news story up about that beyond just New York City. It says the young and the dateless. Why Gen Z and millennial men aren't approaching women anymore. Like many American men of his generation, Ryan Kessler, 28, is terrified of talking to women. But it's not a lack of smarts or swag that makes the single Manhattanite, so this is also New York, hesitant to approach women out in the wild. It's the fear of being mistaken as a toxically macho, boneheaded creep.
So,
Kessler, go ahead.
Say that part again.
He's not unconfident. He's not shy. That's not what's keeping him from approaching women. It's that he is afraid of being labeled as toxically masculine, macho.
So dudes, are you worried about being labeled toxically masculine, or are you sick and tired of having to defend yourself against it? Do you understand the difference of what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you're afraid that someone's going to say you're toxically masculine.
Yeah,
but
you're
it's
afraid
like,
that somebody's...
I'm over this crap.
That
I'm not
somebody's
dealing with this anymore.
Going to turn that on you, and then you have to deal with, oh, great, here we go. It says that this guy told the Post that when trying to win over a potential love interest, the last thing he wants is to be considered a jerk who makes ladies cringe rather than swoon with a clumsy pickup line and unwelcome advances. But that's always been the case, hasn't it? You always have to get over, if you're a guy, you're approaching a girl, you always have to get over the fear that you're going to be told no. Most of the time, your advances are probably going to be unwelcome.
Here's the difference is now more than ever, it feels like I see videos on social media of guys giving it a go. It just gets caught on camera, and usually a friend of the girl that is being hit on steps in. And it tends to be the feminists, right? The ones that are like, no, we don't need you in order for us to have a good time. Don't interrupt our friend bonding time. I see those videos all of the time on social media. So that's thing number one. The other thing is online dating and the hookup culture, the Tinders, the Hinges. I think that those have more of an impact on this than we can imagine, because rather than putting in that hard effort, you can hide behind the screen and just swipe based off of one or two pictures and do it all that way.
I have a challenge to the whole thing. Now, I dated in a time where bars were involved. Did you ever go to bars? Not to pick up chicks, but like if you met a girl at a bar, it wouldn't.
So I went to bars because that's where like
the alcohol was?
Stupid indie concerts were. And I was in
so
that scene.
So you had girls hitting on you. You're like, I'm trying to listen to the music.
I was like, please, my hair is in my eyes because I don't want to see it. I want to hear it only. I'm here about the sonic quality.
God.
The
sonic quality.
Okay, Napoleon.
But that's the stupid.
As a woman, I'd be like, man, you've just done me a great favor.
That's the stupid bar scene I was in. It's true.
I've talked many a time about being a Wild Country weekly attender for years. Thursday nights, go check the tapes. Annie was dancing on Wild Country on KMOV. Hello to the church ladies who used to watch me on Saturday nights, which is when they aired it, and tell me how they liked my outfit at Sunday morning at church.
This was so weird.
Yeah, we had a fan club.
Watch you and then Worldwide Magazine.
Why? What interest would people have in watching random people line dance on TV?
I don't know.
Is that how boring entertainment was back then?
Back then.
Yes.
Would you put some respect in your mouth?
1960s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Put some respect in it, or we'll put some soap in it.
Were
Thanks,
TVs
Dad.
colored back then?
Anyway, being in bars, there were many a time in the bar where myself or my girlfriends, we would be there together, but boys would hit on us, and they'd throw pickup lines out there. The one that has always stuck with me is, "Oh my gosh, you look exactly like my first wife." And I go, "How many wives have you had?" And he said, "None yet." And I was mad at myself for not being
That's a good one.
better than that.
Yeah.
There was another one, but it was about a zoo, and I don't remember it. It was the same guy. Like, he only spoke in pickup lines. This is something that you see on television in a sitcom. I met that guy. And he was persistent, which I was like, if you come back here with another pickup line, it better be good.
Are you a giraffe? Because I think I just spotted you. I just made that up. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's amazing you didn't succeed
Calling
in the bar
women
scene.
giraffes is probably not a good
Anyway,
idea.
the point of my point is that being in a bar in the late 90s or the early 2000s, pre-social media, certainly pre-dating apps. I mean, everybody remembers NSYNC's Digital Get Down was a song about hooking up digitally, and people would start internet dating. That was like nerdy. If you got together over the internet, it was nerdy.
Yeah, you're a dork.
However, I have multiple people in my life who got together through the internet before even dating apps really existed, maybe like websites existed, but not like apps and stuff, those relationships are going strong. And the people who met in bars, they're not together anymore. So I would say to this, New York City article where there are so many women in these bars, and in these bars, these women, according to Ethan, they are there to hang out. At least they've got like an enforcer among the female group.
I'm not saying it's every single. I just see those videos a lot.
But if men are tired of going to bars to try to get relationships, then stop going to bars to do that. Go to church. Find something that you could be involved in that matters. If it's not church for you, a community type of a thing. But go to a place that matters, because hookup culture, Tinder, these apps where you can just find someone to hook up with that night, it's ruined the whole thing. I would not feel like I could go into a bar right now if I were single and take any advance by a male, like a man who would be willing to approach me in a bar in 2026. I would just assume it was 100% sexual proposition, which would not be what I was interested in. So it's like, if you're going to bars, that's what you're going to get. But maybe consider going to church if you're looking for something other than hookup culture, which I would hope that you are.
What's a halfway point between church and a bar? Like an Olive Garden?
Yeah, I mean,
did you go pick up chicks there?
Red Robin.
Yum. Let me think about it. Text
Please.
us your thoughts.
Just
like,
has to be a place where you can groove.
There's the bar, and then there's church. What are other places that people could meet that kind of are in the middle that would pre-qualify, just based on entry, that you had a little bit of a standard about wanting a relationship more than just sex?
Where did you meet?
314-241-9797. Text us. Back in a minute. Todd Sivia and Sivia Law, 833-995-WILL. That's the number to call. Another offer for you. If you call 833-995-WILL and mention my name, you're going to get that strategy session fee. That's the first meeting that you have with Sivia Law, Missouri, Illinois alike. You're going to get that first session fee waived. $300, folks. Mention my name. You don't have to pay it. You call them at 833-995-WILL. Talk to them about what you're looking for. Estate planning. If you've got elder law issues, you need to talk about long-term care planning. Of course, establishing an estate that makes good financial, fiscal sense for your plans for the future. Maybe you've got complicated relationships in your family that you want to make sure that the plans that you make accommodate blessing those people who you want to bless and icing out the people who you don't want anywhere near, whatever the thing is. Sivia Law will help you through all of those life's transitions. Mention my name to get that free strategy session. First 10 callers right now get that fee waived. 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL, online at civialaw.com. All right, tired of dancing in the dark at a bar by yourself? Ryan goes to the text line, 314-241-9797. We were talking about this New York story. Was it in the New York Post?
Yeah, the story was, but the viral story is just people posting, I can't believe I've had to pay $100 to get into this bar.
Chicks paying.
Girls paying.
Yes, that's not the way it used to be.
And guys don't.
And guys getting free because the guys don't want to go because I guess, have they been shunned out of it? Maybe on the other hand, it's too much work for them and they're not willing to put in the work to go on the hunt.
Well, that's what people are saying here. So this is from our text line, 314-241-9797. It says, while we were speaking, this text came in. It says, I couldn't agree more with this article. If we, I'm assuming this is a guy saying this, if we approach a woman, they already put us in a category. True?
I can't be a representative of dating culture having been married 19 years.
Not just today, though. Ever. If a guy approaches you like that, is he instantly...
Like what?
A guy approaches you randomly. So it's not a bad approach, not a good approach, just...
In a bar?
It's a cold open. They're just coming in and just trying something with you.
No, I'd be open to that.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to judge the heck out of you with every move you make and word you say, which is what I'm supposed to do to preserve my own safety.
Right.
I would be attracted to a man who would take initiative.
Okay.
I would not be interested, the storied discussion as to whether or not I asked Jared out on our first date, which I did not. And he, I think it was for our anniversary, ripped off a piece of paper off of the kids' homework. And he wrote on there something like, our first date was when I asked you out. And he just signed it J. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Still have it?
Yes. I taped it to the bathroom mirror.
I believe that.
Because it is important to me. Listen, okay, I get it. I understand that the dichotomy might seem a little hypocritical. I have a strong personality. I'm a strong woman. I'm opinionated. I have been my whole life. I am willing to step in and speak up when most people aren't. I still, as a female, want to be pursued. I still, as a female, want to know that there's somebody next to me, in front of me if need be, by my side, that's going to protect me. And if the dude in my life is sitting in the corner shaking because he's too scared to ask me out, what good is that going to be in the future? Does that make sense?
It saves you $100, I can tell you that, in New York City. A lot of people chiming in.
I wouldn't be paying $100 to go into a bar.
And saying that, first of all, here's some great places to meet. One of them says, met at church celebrating 46 years of marriage in a couple of months.
Congrats.
Congratulations on that. Other ones, though, saying, how about a bookstore or a library? This person...
Aren't those all libs? Just kidding.
Maybe. I don't know. I think... Maybe. Grocery store. You can see how and what they eat, how they spend money.
Are you looking around the corner?
And potentially if they have kids. Or maybe if they eat like Ryan.
Ooh, that's a good point.
How about go to a Christian university, it says.
Yes.
Get your ring by spring.
Yes. Yes.
Here's one that just lists them.
It's too real.
Applebee's, Home Depot, Home Goods,
Who's
Aldi's,
here for the second part of my 2 for $25?
DMV, Cardinals game, Hobby Lobby. Ooh, Hobby
You know what?
Lobby.
I think bars for sports games would be something that I would be interested in because the sports is what I would be interested in. And watching a sporting event around people who would have common interests, I'd rather do that than go to a club. Jared's going to be like, what are you talking about?
Clip that.
I'm happy. I'm very happy. We'll be right back.
Hope for peace. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Ahead of the next round of trilateral talks on Ukraine, Vice President J.D. Vance telling Fox.
Right now, I think the president has some good optimism that we can bring this thing to a successful close.
President Trump holding a call today with Ukraine's President Zelensky, who also spoke with Fox's Greg Palcott in Kiev.
He had some tough talk about his Russian foe, Vladimir Putin, accusing him of using the current negotiation process to further his offensive aims.
I think that they play this game. They try to play with President of the United States.
You think Putin is playing a game?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, he needs to postpone any kind of negotiations.
Zelensky says Ukrainian representatives will meet with Trump envoys tomorrow in Geneva in preparation for a trilateral meeting with Russia in early March. Those Trump envoys will be in Geneva for a third round of nuclear talks with Iran tomorrow. The president turning more attention to the U.S. economy in his State of the Union.
There was no substance in that speech, but a lot of snake oil.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, as Democrats hold a midterm strategy retreat in Virginia, Vice President Vance says Democrats offer no solutions.
I think that we've got a lot of momentum here.
He says the president is asking Americans to let Republicans keep fixing a mess they inherited. An FBI raid in the nation's second largest school district, L.A., and the home of its superintendent.
FBI agents seen executing search warrants at the San Pedro home of Los Angeles Unified School District Superintendent Alberto Carvalho and the district's headquarters in downtown L.A. The agency confirming the warrants were signed by a judge but are sealed, not revealing the reason for the raid, but a source tells the Associated Press this is part of an ongoing investigation.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin, a third location also searched in Florida, where Carvalho previously served as head of the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. America is listening to Fox News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-983-2077 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-983-2077. That's 800-983-2077. What do you have to lose? Call 800-983-2077. Again, 800-983-2077.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us on a Wednesday afternoon. The State of the Union taking place last night. Our poll question for you today: how did you feel about President Trump's address? A+, sufficient, could have been better, disaster. What were your thoughts, Ryan? What are you voting on this poll?
I am voting the top one. That would
A+.
be A+. I thought it was a great speech. I really, there's times that you get mad at Trump for not being a more disciplined speaker, because when you see speeches like this, you know that he's capable of doing it and bringing the country together. I really thought he did that well last night.
Ethan, you took in parts of it, right?
Yeah, I didn't watch it in its entirety. I've seen a lot of clips and I've pulled a lot of clips from it for the show. I would say that there certainly hasn't been anything that has made me go, ugh, I don't know about that. I've thought there was a lot that was pretty commendable. I mentioned to you during the break that I thought that the whole stand up, if the number one priority is safety for American citizens, that was chess while everyone else was playing checkers. Whether you wanted to play the game or not on the Democratic side, he won it. So just for that alone, I think it has to be an A+.
One of the key things I think a lot of people could come together on, and I think that the Democrats even stood up for, was when the USA men's hockey team came in. And was it Matthew Tkachuk here? Went and spoke with Sean Hannity after the event.
It was just really cool to be a part of it. I'm going to be honest. I was chanting USA myself. Like, I've never done that before, I don't think, in my life, other than like another sport event I've been at. But it was so cool. I came out just holding the gold medal, which, by the way, I think you should wear it for this.
Whoa. Wow. Really?
There you go.
Oh, my God. This thing is so heavy. What does this weigh, 20 pounds? All right, I'm not giving it back. This is my. No,
I'll get it at some point. But it was really cool to like walk down and hold the gold medal and chant USA and see everybody, standing, applauding and cheering. It was a really special moment for myself and my teammates, and we felt the love and support ever since we've stepped foot back in the U.S. I guess it was just yesterday.
So listening to him along with Sean Hannity there, kind of breaking down the experience of being there at the State of the Union, the president talks about winning in America and uses that as a segue into welcoming the hockey players into the chamber. So they open the doors, they walk in, everybody goes crazy. And, I'm watching that thinking, okay, the Democrats stood up for that as well. But how many things do we have in our country anymore that everybody can kind of just agree on? There's not that many things.
Well, no, but I was glad to see the veterans were one of them.
Yeah.
That was good. That's good.
Irina Zrutska's mother was not.
No, that is sad. That is very sad. And Fetterman addressed that. He said that was a shame, that his party should be ashamed of themselves for that.
They should. They absolutely should. What we need in our country is more opportunities to come together over things that don't matter. Like that don't they're not so consequential that they really matter. Because when it really matters, when you've got really, important life or death issues at stake, or, whatever it might be that affects lifestyle and freedom and, your ability to exist unfettered by the opinions of others with the strength of your own opinions in the same place. We just don't have that many things. The Super Bowl is supposed to be one of those things. You're supposed to be able to watch a football game, the big football game, the last football game. You're supposed to be able to watch it and be tribal about the team you support, or be interested in the commercials that entertain you in between game plays, or watch the halftime show and be entertained by the music and the art of what takes place at the halftime show. And you have to ask yourself, could the Super Bowl still be that? Yes. Is there any possibility that when Jay-Z and Roger Goodell and the NFL chose Bad Bunny to be the halftime show, is there any possibility, any percentage at all, both Ryan and Ethan, I want your thoughts on this, is there any possibility at all that they thought this will be unifying?
Not a chance.
0%.
They actively thought the opposite of that. It wasn't.
I'm just saying, like, if we were even going to even teensy tiny crack the door for the benefit of the doubt to say this will bring the country together.
No way.
0%.
0%.
Ethan?
Agree exactly. 0%.
So in that light, because listen, controversy creates publicity, and that's calculated, and that's a business decision they made, and I would assume that the amount of publicity that they got off of that decision was probably one that they're very happy with. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I wasn't really going to watch the Super Bowl anyway. Wasn't interested in those two teams, not particularly interested in the NFL since they told us to pound sand here in St. Louis. So that is what it is. But they had an opportunity to attempt to do something that wouldn't be controversial. It may not be everybody's favorite thing, because I don't think that's possible. But there's they knew it was going to be controversial when they picked him, and they went all in with it. And then Bad Bunny goes on to Saturday Night Live, like maybe a week after he was picked, and he's like, "You've got 3 months to learn Spanish. Get to it." I mean, so they leaned into the controversy. I'm not really complaining about it. I'm just identifying what happened. So you've got something that the Super Bowl, outside of the halftime performance, I don't know that there was really much of anything controversial about it.
Not really.
Seattle and Boston, nobody outside of those areas probably cares a whole lot about those teams. There wasn't an underdog, so to speak, to root for. You certainly can't. You don't get behind the Patriots to win another Super Bowl if you're not invested in the Patriots winning a Super Bowl. And Seattle is not like the every city team. It's not easy to get behind either of those. But it's no hateable person that I know of. It was kind of a no. Let's just sit down and watch the game and eat some food and watch the commercials. Oh, but then there's this big controversial thing in the middle, which was an active business choice.
And you know what's funny is that. It's that they made it controversial.
Yes.
It's that Bad Bunny, you could have picked Bad Bunny and just been like, yeah, we know, but we're trying to appeal to a younger demographic.
Put Bad Bunny in there with other people. Like,
yeah.
I don't have a problem with Bad Bunny being in the halftime show. I do have a problem as a consumer who my problem is resolved when I'm like, I'll pass. And then, moving on. I do have a problem if it's, you have 3 months to learn Spanish, and then the pushing and pushing and pushing of this is how it's going to go. And I'm like, actually, not really. Nope. So when you see the hockey team, the men's hockey team, bringing everybody together, it's so refreshing because there just really wasn't anything controversial about it. What does the media try to do? They try to stoke controversy around the women's team. Folks, I don't think that the women told Trump to take a hike. I don't think the women could actually make it as a team to the event. And I think that the political hay that's being made around the women's hockey team is really taking advantage of a situation for a political gain that I don't think is actually even there. I think it's a non-story. The women's hockey team will come to the White House. They will have a ceremony.
And Trump pointed that out last night.
Exactly. And, I'm telling you right now, if you're on my political side of the aisle, as if I own it, if we reside on the same political side of the aisle and you're crapping on the women's hockey team, please stop. Please don't do that. Have we heard anybody on the women's hockey team say something negative or disparaging about A, the country, B, the president, or C, going to the White House? Has that happened?
Not that I know of.
It's all noise. You've got the people on the left who hate Trump, that they're willing to step in the void, the vacant space, to make a story about the women's hockey team. So what are they supposed to do right now? Because chances are some of them like Trump, some of them don't. But their hockey win, gold medal, now is more about their proximity to Trump affinity than it is about being the best in the world at hockey. That's not fair. They didn't ask for that. Trump invited the men, 2 days before the actual event happened, and they're like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. My understanding, I don't know, Ethan, if you know a lot more about this than I do. I'm sure that you know more about it than I do. I don't know if you know enough to explain this, but the idea of the women who are participating on this hockey team, their age, what they're doing in life. I keep hearing people say that they have school, they've had releases from school that are limited, and that the men who are participating in that hockey team are experiencing a different time of life. Do you know what I'm talking about?
As far as I know, the large majority, if not all, of the women's team are playing in college. There was a lot from the University of Wisconsin, a lot from the University of Minnesota, some of the better hockey schools in the country, whereas to every single one of the United States men's players are playing in the National Hockey League. There's so many.
It's an
to the point that
entirely different existence.
Their reserves are all-stars in the NHL that didn't play at all.
Really?
Yes.
So isn't it safe to say that what the men's team was able to do as far as scheduling goes, what they were able to do as far as 48 hours of winning the gold, to be able to accept that the women may not be able to? And again, maybe 100% of the women on the women's hockey team can't stand Trump and would never be in the same room with him because it would make them vomit. But I don't think we have any evidence at all. And I could have missed it. Somebody posted on X and tagged me at Annie Fry Show. Send me a Facebook message. Annie Fry Show on the Facebook, on the Facebook. That's what we used to call it in 2000.
Drop the.
Yeah, before Justin Timberlake, told us to drop the.
Drop
exactly.
The. I just don't think that it's fair that the women. If you ask people in this country right now about the women winning gold, the conversation, the discussion is going to be more about the fact they didn't go to the White House than the fact that they won the freaking gold medal.
That's so annoying. It was such a cool ending to that game. That's all I want to remember.
Rise
Leave me
above
alone.
it. Well, and for our side, the folks that we're sharing the right side, the conservative, don't be shaming these women who, even if they all hated Trump, they're good at hockey. And that's good enough for the country.
Believe all women. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's a different thing. And also don't.
Okay.
It's not. That's
Don't
not really
believe
the way it
any
works.
women.
Believe all women the way Hillary Clinton believes all women, which is not the best example of it. All right, Ethan, Sports and Local next. Are you ready? Did you prepare?
Bring it on, baby.
Are you prepared for this?
Bring it on,
Got some
baby.
bad news.
Bring
in
it on.
Ethan, Sports and Local next.
Bring it on.
Yikes.
Take it away, Ginger.
Shots fired. Hey, we don't interrupt him. This is his
Just
segment.
gonna boycott. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna walk out, and then you guys are gonna be
Ryan,
stuck
we
having
are
to talk about
cooked
things.
if he does that.
Don't do that, Ethan.
Behave.
You're doing a great job.
James, you're getting called up.
We don't have anything else, Ethan.
I know I have frogs.
Sports and local. The
Oh, we
rest
do have frogs.
of
That's
That'll
like
be next.
7 minutes of content.
Yeah.
Well, it was a.
Which one was this? It didn't give an intro, did it?
Yeah, Sports and Local with Ginger Brokaw.
Ginger Brokaw. I guess I didn't have my headphones
That's
on.
why he said, "Take it away, Ginger."
I had my headphones off. That's all I heard.
So that's why you thought it was more of a slight than it was.
It was still a slight. Don't get me wrong. It was still a slight. SLU basketball. They are running into a wall, people.
No.
The start, it is over. It was over games ago.
No.
And now they have lost 2 of their last 3 games. Last night, a 77-62 loss against their rivals Dayton. And those 2 of 3 losses are following an 18 game win streak where at one point they were 25-2. If they would have beat Dayton yesterday, it would have been the first time in program history that they won all 4 games in which they played VCU and Dayton in a single season. So they came up short last night. Were never really in the game.
That much.
They were constantly down by double digits, chasing the game, and weren't able to
Convert,
reel back
as
in.
they say in the industry.
They shot 24% from beyond the 3-point arc. SLU is a team that lives and dies by the three, but most of the season they've been living by it. They've had some lights out shooters all season long, and these couple of losses, the shooting numbers have not looked very good. So people starting to wonder, is there some concerns with this Billikens team? And I think it's warranted.
Are they worried they're not legit?
Are they in the tournament?
They're 25-3.
I mean, they're in already.
Right now, they're certainly still in the tournament. But you keep losing games, and all of a sudden that becomes a question mark. Like I said, 25-3 is still safe, but at one point we were talking about potentially a 6 seed for this team, and
now you're talking about a 7.
Well, with each loss,
6 or 7.
you're certainly you're running the risk of dropping a seed. And I would say that they at least have gone from 6 to 7.
I hope they get a 5 just to prove you wrong.
I hope they do too. I want to be proven wrong, but we'll just have to wait and see. So they have the next couple of days off, and then they face off against Duquesne on Saturday at Chaffetz Arena. So we'll have to see
Duquesne.
how exactly.
Yeah, Duchesne. Nay.
No, it has a Q in it, guys. It's not Duchesne. This is different pronunciation,
I
guys.
said Duquesne.
I'm pronouncing it in the proper French.
It's like I'm
Ryan,
working with 2
show some respect.
9-year-olds. Unbelievable.
This is offensive to my 9-year-old.
The Mizzou Tigers won a big one last night, beat the number 22 ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Final score 73-69, and with the win now, Mizzou is 19-9, 9-6 in the SEC, and they're 3-1 against top 25 teams this year. They've won some really big quad 1 games here down the stretch, and
Ryan, let's go to the Ryan section of the room. A quad 1 game. What would be a? Go ahead. We'll just.
You break out all the teams into fourths. And then you consider that to be sort of the highest fourth of those games that they've played.
This sounds like how we discovered COVID policies.
Stand 6 feet apart. You win every quad 1 game. You're not going to catch the virus.
Ethan?
he kind of nailed it.
Can't argue with it.
It's a bunch of stats basically compiled, including your strength of schedule, how well you're performing against the teams that you are playing. And it's just a different ranking that they look at.
No kidding.
And it's valued very much so. It's probably valued more than any other ranking in college basketball.
I just remember using the phrase strength of schedule with that one football player's problem where his wife was suing him.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that one. Mizzou is hosting, they're playing at Mississippi State.
A lot of
this
Mizzou coverage.
Upcoming Saturday.
Thanks for that.
You're very welcome. Did you guys know? I have a fun fact for you guys.
Oh, yeah? Better be fun.
It's pretty fun, in my opinion.
Better be a fact.
So,
sounds like opinion.
Ryan, you've got to just stop talking. You've got to stop talking,
You can
man.
turn his mic off.
You drive me absolutely insane, man. The conclusion of the 2026 Winter Olympics serves as a reminder to St. Louis of when the city hosted the first games in North America more than 120 years ago. While much of the 1904 Olympics history may be gone, there is still one space that has remained all this time. Francis Olympic Field, sitting at Washington University in St. Louis, is the oldest Olympic stadium that is still in use today.
That's a fact.
It was named after David R. Francis, a graduate whose visionary efforts brought the Olympic Games to St. Louis in parallel with the 1904 World's Fair, according to a monument outside of the field. The area was built in 1902 in preparation for the Games, but has been serving the community now for 124 years. And according to the school, it originally featured a track only 1/3 of a mile long, which was used up until the 1980s. So kind of a little bit of St. Louis fun fact. But fact. It was a fact, Ryan.
And fun. Good job.
You're welcome.
You know what's going to be tragic is when a sinkhole forms in that thing.
Why, Ryan?
I don't know, because I can't picture a field that is old without picturing a sinkhole in it after Alton.
Okay, well, Alton's field was like pretty much brand new, but that's
Sinkholes are super scary.
They are scary. I just saw a video of one this morning of a guy sitting at a stoplight, and a sinkhole just forms underneath his car, and he just falls into a sinkhole.
Yeah, that was in Omaha, Nebraska.
Fun fact.
Thank you for the fun fact, Ryan. The World Baseball Classic is the next international tournament in one
I
of
got
the major sports. that's
super
gonna be
into
coming
that
up.
last year.
Loved it.
I was pumped about it.
It was a lot of fun, and I think that there's probably going to be some pretty good energy behind it, considering Team USA Hockey's huge win that they just had winning the Olympic gold. I think some of that's going to translate.
Did Puerto Rico win last time?
No, Japan.
Dominican?
Japan
Oh,
won.
Japan beat us.
Japan beat the United States
Did we
in
beat
the final.
Puerto Rico in the semifinals?
In
or
the
did-
semis, I
Okay.
believe, yes. So these are going to be getting going here in the next handful of days. And the Cardinals, if you remember last time, the Cardinals had quite a few impact players that were playing in the World Baseball Classic.
Was it
The most-
Edwin Diaz went down like on his first pitch or something like that? He's the Timmy Trumpet guy from the Mets. I think he lost his
Oh
whole season.
yes, Edwin. Yes, I was thinking of a different player. Yes, Edwin Diaz did go down, and he missed the entire season. He was the best closer in Major League Baseball at the time, and he missed the whole season. Yep, that's exactly who that is.
That's exactly how it sounds.
Basically, Adam Wainwright was the most notable Cardinal that Ryan's just completely lost.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is? The Timmy Trumpet?
Oh, it's so good.
If you heard it, you would
It's
know
one
exactly
of the
what
best
it is.
things in baseball entertainment.
No.
Okay, all right.
What is it?
It's a trumpet. It's literally a
I know
trumpet.
it's a trumpet, but what is the purpose? Like, how is it connected to the story?
That was Edwin Diaz's walk-up,
Entry
his
song?
entry
He's a closer.
song.
Okay.
And that's where it got super famous. And now everyone at any athletic event uses it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gets me hyped every time.
Adam Wainwright was the most notable Cardinal at the 2023 World Baseball Classic. Wasn't the only one, but certainly was the most notable. There are going to be...
Nootbaar.
Yep, Nootbaar was
He was
played
probably,
for-
I would say he was.
how about most notable USA player?
Okay.
Lars Nootbaar worldwide. Yes, that is when he became the international
Yeah.
superstar, the beloved baseball player that
We went
he is
to
now.
Japan in 2024. Nootbaar was everywhere.
I believe it.
Well, he was on the cover of GQ.
Advertisements. I mean, train stations. You saw him all over the place.
Everywhere we go, Noot.
I would.
Be like, I know him.
And they would be like, oh, and they'd bow.
You know, it's actually cool. When Lars Nootbaar the last couple of years takes media in the clubhouse,
Mm-hmm.
there's always the most people around for him because there are Japanese media members that specifically want to speak with him, and even to go a level deeper, when Shohei Ohtani would come into town, it would be just as big for Nootbaar that it would be for Ohtani because of the connection between those two in playing in the World Baseball
I
Classic
thought
together.
that the Rams money, Lars Nootbaar, and the St. Louis Arch were enough to get Ohtani in a Cardinals jersey.
I would have taken it.
I
would have taken it.
I didn't
like
want to
that.
offer it to you.
Well, I'm not as good of a baseball player as Shohei Ohtani.
Who is?
You know what is funny about
Literally
Japanese
nobody.
media? The way they cover Japanese players in the MLB, they are superstar. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're barely on the team or not.
That's their NFL. That's their biggest sport by far.
And they do a report every night. My buddy who lives there tells me it's so funny because he'll want to watch the sports report to see how some American teams did. And he'll watch, he'll watch the report and they'll just report how the player did and not tell you how the game turned out or anything.
I love
it's
that.
just that. Yeah. But
That is
that's why
pretty
they're
cool.
such huge celebrities. It's because they get tons of attention.
There are going to be a handful of people that are in the Cardinals organization that are going to be competing in the World Baseball Classic. The most notable one would have been Ivan Herrera, who would have been playing with Team Panama, but there has been several notable players that have had to drop out, specifically, I believe, from Team Puerto Rico and Team Panama because of insurance issues. So they aren't going to be able to compete, I guess, because certain things aren't going to be covered. I'm not sure of the details of that, but Ivan Herrera was one of the players that was supposed to be competing in the World Baseball Classic, will no longer be. One of our top prospects, Leonardo Bernal, will be competing with Team Panama. Riley O'Brien, one of our relief pitchers, was also supposed to compete, but he just had to drop out because he has an injury, I believe, to his calf. Gordon Graceffo, Thomas Sajaci, those are probably the most notable players that are on the major league team. Graceffo will compete for Team Italy, and also so will Sajaci. So both of those guys will be competing with Team Italy in the upcoming World Baseball Classic.
Panama is my second favorite song that I can sing in Spanish by Van Halen.
In
Fun
Spanish,
fact,
you say?
Fun fact. Yeah, the first one is Corado con Diablo.
I don't have anything. Yeah, it's that time.
I couldn't even get the phrase out, and I had it.
All right.
I just ran out of breath.
Frogs on deck. When we come back, the secret weapon for the leftists, I think, up in the northwest of our country. Why were there frogs on stage at a counter-programming to the State of the Union? We'll find out when we come back. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. I appreciate being able to partner with wonderful people who provide really great services for people like you. Now, I understand that if you have a basement concern and it's something that's been kind of lingering, maybe it's at a home that you own and rent out or whatever, and it's come open and you want to get it fixed once and for all, you want to make sure that you get quality service, but you don't want to have to overpay for it, obviously. 314-271-9900. Invite Matt Hayes out to look at your basement to help you assess what kind of waterproofing you're going to need to do. 314-271-9900 is the number to call, and you can trust Matt Hayes, who is a local owner, family and operated business at Home Shield Foundation Repair with a really great team of reliable people who know how to get the job done right. Countless people listening to this show in the St. Louis area, Missouri and Illinois alike, have relied on Home Shield Foundation Repair for the basement waterproofing that you know that you need. 314-271-9900, 314-271-9900. Call them, tell them Annie sent you. You can look them up online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
The YouTube live chat poll is, how did you feel about President Trump's address? Or I should say address, not his address.
1600 Pennsylvania
1600
Avenue.
Pennsylvania
You
is
think
a
he
nice
should move?
address. How do you feel about
Want to
it?
relocate?
Avenue.
Maybe a Trump Tower or something?
A+, sufficient, could have been better, or disaster? Let us know, in the words of Trump. Let us know what you think. You can text in 314-241-9797, or you can see us on the live stream and leave a comment there. It is 2:35 this time. Check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Welcome back to the Andy Fry Show. So during Ethan Sports and Local on the YouTube Live, we were running just the video, not the audio. The counter program to the State of the Union, there were multiple events that took place that were like, you don't want to watch Trump? We got something for you. And this was one of the alternatives here. We'll play the clip, and then Ryan will explain to you what we're watching.
I'm a mother. I'm a physician, and I have a flag. And I am the proud representative for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Yes, thank you, thank you. And tonight, I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade!
Hooray!
Oh.
Well, I'm not sure what the problem here is. There's a lady standing at a podium in front of a crowd of maybe 100 to 150 people, and the entire stage is full of people in those inflatable frog costumes, and they're looking out a hole in the chin.
The Portland Frog Brigade.
Well, I don't know much about the Portland Frog Brigade, but
I'm on it.
That's got to be all of them right there. Now, they might stand for something, but all I can see is that it's a politician who's attending
I have a question.
This instead of the State of the Union.
This is a completely, totally innocent and unresearched, possibly naive question. Have you noticed that at a lot of the protests they have these inflatables?
No, I have not.
They are at a lot of the No Kings protests. Like if you Googled No Kings protest inflatables, you'd see a lot of pictures of inflatable costumes and stuff like that. I think that there was a suggestion that maybe that was a way for people to disguise who they were so they wouldn't be seen as much. But is there an intersection between people, grown people wanting to be in these inflatable costumes and like the furry community?
Ethan?
That's just not fair. I mean, I guess it depends on
if you
the
don't know
intention behind what you're doing, right? If you're using these to protest and it's meant as a way to hide your identity, that's not really the intention of. I feel like furries are embracing what they're doing, and I don't know if these people necessarily are.
Is there any scenario where a right-wing conservative, maybe it is, and I just have completely not thought, this is a thought experiment happening live on the air as we speak, but is there a version of this on the right?
To answer your question, these people get in these costumes and they get high on protest.
Are we talking about the Frog Brigade specifically?
Any of them.
Okay, got it.
They get high on protest. And then they get into a human flesh pile at about midnight.
Ew.
No,
Ew.
not like that.
Ew.
Because you asked, that's what happens. Now, the other question is, does this happen on the right? No.
Well, I'm just like, why does the frog? Did she say inflatable frog brigade?
That would be disrespectful.
No, it's Portland
Frog Brigade.
It's kind of frog brigade is a challenge.
It's a tough one.
It's like the thing you say 12 times before you start broadcasting on the air just to make sure you're up to par. I just don't know how this moves the ball down the field, to use another.
Ethan, did you look up the Portland Frog Brigade?
Oh, I got something for you guys.
What do you got?
Because I found their homepage.
Oh, I found
Can
it
you
too.
share it? Share
I found
the
it
link.
too, and I also
Share the
found
window.
I found some video footage here. We'll put up on there.
That's the most important thing.
So this is more. Oh no, that's an inflatable as well. Frogs together strong. I mean, okay.
So the Portland Frog Brigade.
Yeah,
that is a tough one. I'm having a hard time with that. Is a non-violent anti-activist.
Can you imagine if they were violent?
Yeah.
No.
They
all you need to do is stick them with a pin.
They use inflatable animal costumes to practice the proven art of peaceful, creative dissent, exercising our free right to expression in defense of the U.S. Constitution. Their mission is it says that they are a nonviolent art activist collective that models and advocates for peaceful, creative
It's just
dissent.
words. Just to
Through
answer your
play,
question.
spectacle, and humor. We speak truth to power, undermine fear-based narratives, and amplify the work of resistance organizations by providing them direct material support, practical services, and visible solidarity in defense of democracy and human dignity.
If you go home, if you go to their house and you like look in their closet, do they have like suits lined up and then the frog costumes at the end, like just in case? Or is it in like a special secret place?
I'm picturing somebody
like
who's
a bat cave, like a lair.
Yeah.
I haven't pulled out the old
frog lair,
costume
the
in
rivet
quite
lair.
a while, but there it is again. It haunts me.
It haunts me too now.
I remember the art of peaceful, creative dissent.
I mean, I could see if you have an inflated. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to put myself in a place where I see this and I'm like, okay, that's not for me. But I could relate to something that might be adjacent to or parallel to, just with a different subject to be interested in. Like I could see how if you're going to stop it. You're
not trying to do that.
Listen, if you're going
You're a better
to
person than me.
an NFL game, people who get all done up for NFL games, people paint their bodies all crazy colors and they go out in frigid weather and they're body painted and they're wearing crazy hats, or that one kid was wearing that headdress for the Kansas City Chiefs last year. That was a whole thing. But I mean, people do crazy things in solidarity with the thing that they're super interested in. Is it the same thing, parallel universe?
Ryan?
No.
I'm trying to make sense of it.
You're
I'm
not doing a good
it.
job.
I'm not doing it.
I can tell you that the point of the frogs is that they have a website called the PortlandFrogBrigade.com, and that the number one thing on it.
Read what I just read to you.
Is a donation tab.
That is literally the top thing on there.
And they don't do anything. It sounds like they lean left, and they want to.
Do they have?
Oh, it says they want to pierce the aura of authoritarian power. That's poetic. And they cut through the fear of it and expose the hollowness beneath its claims.
They should have said they hop above it. That's what they should have said.
That's what they should have said, but they didn't do any good frog analogies or metaphors at all in this entire
missed
stupid
opportunity.
website.
We do that stuff on the fly.
The bigger question is, why, as a politician, would you say, let's get these guys out there?
That's the first time I've seen Ethan's whole face today. Anyway, what?
If they had some sort of these are costumes you just get at Walmart too.
Probably Amazon.
I like them all putting their hands up when she acknowledges them. Look at they all jump and they all celebrate. Yay, we got celebrated.
I don't know. I just know that if you just because you think something is weird, there's probably something you're doing in your life that other people think is weird. So it could just be a matter of perspective or interest or whatever. But
that's true. But this is weird.
Okay.
And in the crowd, there's people that are wearing frog hats.
Oh, there are. I see that.
I bet that's how they got a crowd. I bet that's the only way they knew this rando politician in Portland was going to draw a crowd, is if they got the frogs there. That's it.
You get the frogs, you're in.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I'm trying, people. I'm not succeeding.
I give you credit.
Oh, thank you. That's what I need, a participation trophy. YouTube live chat poll. How did you feel about President Trump's address last night? You can text Ryan at 314-241-9797, and we'll get some more of your feedback and the results of today's poll. A+, sufficient, could have been better, or disaster. It was a disaster. Let us know. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. 314-241-9797 if you want to text us. Get your thoughts in on how you felt about President Trump's State of the Union speech last night. I didn't see. Usually there's like the one thing that the left can hang their hat on that Trump they just need one thing. I haven't seen that.
No, I haven't seen that thing either. There was one spot that, Ethan, you mentioned it off air, I think, where the Democrats stood up and cheered for something that Trump said, ironically, but I don't remember what it was.
It was when he was talking about them not supporting, I don't know whether it was a bill or something.
The big beautiful bill, the tax cuts.
Cut taxes.
And they stood and
they
cheered.
stood when he said they would not have that would have cut taxes.
That's right. That's right. I wouldn't think that's been celebrated very much, but there really hasn't been anything.
Beth on Facebook says A+. Thank you, Beth, for commenting on it with us there. Joe said, I didn't watch, but judging by the vitriol coming out of the left, sounds like you did a great job. Thank you. Ripper said, I give it a C, maybe a C+. Chris, who was watching with us last night, did anyone ever hear the Dems saying USA, USA during one? Obama's during the Bidens? I did see a video of who was it sitting next to Ilhan Omar? Not Jayapal.
Tlaib?
Yeah, Rashida Tlaib. Yep. When there was a USA, USA chant going on, there's a video of her leaning back and looking over towards her right, which is where the Republicans are sitting. And the suggestion is that she's saying KKK instead of USA. And if you look at it, it sure looks like she's saying that. I would like someone to ask her if she was in fact chanting KKK. And I would also ask her how she feels about being a Democrat in Congress chanting KKK if she said it knowing that the KKK is an entity of the Democrat Party. Seems like a really poor choice on her part, if that's what she was doing. Mark on Facebook said he was spectacular at putting the Dems in the very place they put themselves in. They are not about their constituents or legal citizens. Betsy said, certainly don't recall Virginia governor giving solutions on the 3 questions she's concerned about. Texts?
This one, says, report last night was A+. The whole point of the nonsense by the Dems was to turn it into a circus or a reality show contest so that they can try to win it. Even if it weren't televised live, it would be a quiet, dignified review and learning experience. This other person here says, I just want the House to stop standing ovations every 3.15 seconds. It does make it longer. And lastly, there's one I was trying to pull up here. Trump hit it out of the park, so an A+ there.
McBride on YouTube said disaster, and the polls show it. He's at historic lows, about 35%. And the State of the Union didn't help. He dismisses concerns on affordability.
A commenter here says, just came in, said, this is Dawn. I give him an A+, and I give Fetterman an A+ for wearing a suit.
Patrick on Facebook, A+. We appreciate you, Patrick, for weighing in. Tina said A+. The speech was about American exceptionalism. Yeah, there was a huge portion of it that was just about pride and unashamed of American greatness. And it's kind of hard to publicly argue against that.
I've said this recently that I keep looking around at the different facets of our country, especially policy-wise, and I'm not really sure what I'm asking for more. Everything is going pretty well. Foreign policy in particular, Trump might be one of the greatest presidents in all of history at foreign policy, and he doesn't get that much credit for it. I think by the end of this 4 years, he will. But the economy is all hands on deck, moving in the right direction. I know that I want my dollar to go farther. I want to make more money. Prices aren't going to come back down, but they've leveled. But that is also moving in the right direction right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of you got to crawl before you can walk thing, which I always, when I say that phrase, want to say you got to walk before you can crawl. It's a different kind of night. But I remind folks that you have to understand where we've been and what we've had to overcome before we can really actually look at, like, greatness, but I think we're on the way there. I want to get to the story before we get to the results. If you want to vote in the poll today and tell us how you feel about President Trump's address, you can go to the Andy Fry YouTube channel in the live chat portion of the live broadcast and vote in that. I came across this post on X from Brianna Morello, who is an independent journalist, and she's got quite a large following, about 400,000 followers on X. Listen to this. Ever wondered how TSA was allowing illegal aliens to board commercial flights without IDs under the Biden regime? Remember back when they were flying people in and distributing them around the country when they were illegal? Brianna posts on X, well, I sued TSA to find out and learned that Biden's DHS allowed convicted sex offenders onto flights by showing their sex offender paperwork. Predators were allowed into the country if they promised to take sexual deviancy counseling and register as a sex offender. After suing TSA, I won, and now the agency is covering my legal fees. Currently, TSA says they can't pay my lawyer right now due to the shutdown.
Wow.
So when people were being ushered in to the United States of America by the Biden administration, to what extent? Extents that are unimaginable to me. To know that people were coming here who had been convicted sex offenders, and we said, hey, come on in. When you get here, you're going to need to take some counseling. And you're going to need to register as a sex offender, but you can come on in.
Wow.
I don't think that we truly understand the gravity of what the Biden administration did, how big the problem was. Even in 2015, 2016, when Donald Trump was running and he was saying build the wall, I think he knew something. But the Biden administration, those 4 years that they had their hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel, they were intentionally doing things to flood our country with illegal immigrants. And a lot of those people came here wanting a better life, and they came here illegally, and they are going to get deported. And I understand human empathy for people who are here under the idea that it was okay. And the kind of indication that they'd be able to stay, and now that they have to go home. I understand that there's a human tragedy here, but the blood is on the hands of the Biden administration, the Democrats who did this intentionally for their own political power and gain. Full stop, which is a phrase I hate.
Man, that is really dark. That is some darkness, and it's gross because it's almost like every stone you turn over with these things. Just with Doge, the stuff that they've turned over of how many people that they were trying to bring into the country and get benefits illegally. It's just so sketchy, and I don't know a better word than just to say so much of that stuff and the intentions behind it are very dark.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you for everybody who texted us, commented today on the YouTube poll. It was a good one. Ethan, want to hit us with the results here?
284 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Good job, chat. How did you feel about President Trump's address?
Address.
For you, Ryan. Oh, sorry. Got it. Sorry. 4% say that it could have been better. 5% say that it was a disaster. So that means that, 91% had it at least at positive. 12% said sufficient. 79% said A+.
That's amazing. That's really amazing.
It's a good speech.
And a good turnout, too. Almost 300 votes on the poll today. Thank you for being with us. A reminder, pick up the Andy Fry Show podcast on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. And if you're streaming us live, Mark Reardon is going to be there and on the radio dial next.